because I'm in the wrong window. That's why. I'm sitting here going, okay, here we are. It's time to get this thing started. Why don't we get things started on the Sensational? But I go to hit the live button and I can't find it. Well, where's the live button? Why? How am I even back here if I don't have the ability to do this? And then it dawned on me that I was on the YouTube window and not in the StreamYard window. So there you are. It's early in the morning. It's, oh my God, it's 4:30 in the morning and I don't know what I'm doing apparently. I'm not barely even awake. 6 hours and 2 days. I mean, I've had less sleep, but I was younger then. How you doing? How you doing? All right. Well, while we wait for, I don't know, folks to show up, what's been going on in comics? Well, there's been a big piece of news, and that was, of course, Diamond. People, yeah, why am I up so damn early? Why are you up so early, Bleeker? It's the question of life. There's the big news. Diamond Comics files Chapter 11. There's a lot of people out there who don't understand what exactly Chapter 11 is, because there's a lot of misnomers and misconceptions out there that like this is like the end of Diamond and this, that, and the other thing. Let's just clear this up. Your point of information. This is Chapter 11 and not Chapter 7. It can be confusing in that the American system here for filing bankruptcy is very confusing and convoluted. But essentially the difference is that Chapter 7, that's when a company is forced to liquidate, go away, and disappear. Chapter 11, instead, is an opportunity for a business to pause their debtors. Basically, it freezes all the collectors who are trying to get money from them that they don't have, and it pauses all of them. They can no longer collect. Those debts get frozen, and they can only, and it sets a new line in the sand. And the company is allowed to continue their operations, and while they restructure and renegotiate all that existing back debt. In the meantime, all those vendors are still obligated to continue to provide services to the company, and they continue to bill, and that company must pay for those services as that point going forward as it goes on, and is limited in its ability to negotiate new dealings and stuff while it's under this protection. But then it's going to settle that back debt, whether it's going to find ways to pay it, whether it's going to settle it for a portion of the, usually it's portions of the debt. So, and it can achieve that. It may choose to sell off portions of its business, or the court may direct them to sell off portions of their business. So you've seen some talk about like them selling off their game distribution in the UK and some other stuff, and that could happen, and that will help them to raise capital so they can settle these debts. But Diamond isn't disappearing. They're being allowed to restructure and so that they can continue their business. Now, once they come out of bankruptcy, if they choose ultimately to sell, or maybe it could be even part of the bankruptcy proceedings, part of that debt settlement may be that they find a buyer who's willing to take on all that stuff, and the court approves that, then that type of situation could occur. But it's not necessarily like they're gone. Boom. So let's see. I did see the JSS goes. Well, the ripple effect may be severe. Diamond owes Penguin millions and so forth, a portion due. Yeah, I mean, well, it's true that the debtors, the people who, if Diamond owes Penguin money, then Penguin's going to probably not going to see all that money that they're owed. They're going to take on less. But Penguin's not necessarily a small business. A portion of the issue may wind up adversely affecting smaller titles and LCSs. I'm not sure how the LCSs are going to be owed any money by Diamond. Well, they might be owed some money potentially from any refunds or credits or stuff, but I mean, they're not I don't, as far as I know, from how their business is set up, and I could be completely wrong because I'm not an expert on their side of the business. As a distributor, they're providing goods in exchange for money, not the other way around. So they shouldn't owe money to the LCSs. This allows them to actually continue to print and distribute their services uninterrupted. So the LCSs should not, in theory, be interrupted in any significant way. At least that's how I understand it. But let's see, my pull list live from them last 6 months. I'll put a photo of Legion. The one that surprised me is the 500K outstanding debt to the postal service. Yeah, no, because a lot of these large companies, they end up with accounts that these things build to, and they'll settle because when you're doing such large volumes of shipping or anything else, it's different than these business accounts allow people to do this based on their credit and everything else, and it can accumulate. They get behind and they go over their credit limits and whatever else, and yeah, that can happen. Absolutely. All right, let's say hello to everybody. I'll go back to the top. Say hello, Mr. Alan Rue. Hello, how are you? Bleeker asking me why I was up so damn early, which is great. I look very spry this morning, Rob. I don't know why I would look spry. I'm not. I'm very tired. Very, very tired. Good morning, AR. Thank you. And a mighty cup of Joe for you. That's tasty. Let's see here. Canadian survivalist. Heathens. Yeah, could be. Yeah, they're just restructuring 100%. I'm not an accountant. I'm a comic reader. Well, I'm not an accountant either. Unfortunately, I do too much stuff in my line of business where sometimes I come into doing contracts and stuff for business. Sometimes we deal with situations where this comes up. And we're usually one of the suppliers that's owed money. Let's see here. Good morning. Oh yeah. Zars, good morning. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us from Australia. SP card fan. The one thing that surprised, yeah, well, that's right. We recognize you now, as opposed to your comment, I suppose. The postman was not happy. Well, yeah, I'm sure that's the post office can completely blame all their problems on one distributor. Why do they owe so much money, and where did the money go? Yeah. Well, what ends up happening, like for example, 500K to the post office. When you're a distributor and you're doing the bulk of your stuff vis-a-vis shipping, I gotta imagine, it's crazy the volume that you can generate. If you think about it, for example, I work in a business that provides business communication systems, and there are businesses that can generate phone, essentially what amounts to phone bills that are hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. It just all depends upon the scale of your business and what you're doing. And if you're a distributor and you're doing tons of shipping, it doesn't surprise me that if let's say you're on net 90 terms, so you've got 90 days to pay your bills before they're past due, which tends to be rarer in modern contracts today due to the cost of money. But net 45, net 30 is more common. But even still, you get behind, you don't pay that bill, it gets behind. There's a period of time before it goes collections. Next thing you know, you're 4 or 5 months deep. And I can see where a distributor could accumulate $100,000 or more in postal service fees in a month. And then if they don't pay their bill, by the time it gets to collections and gets past, or it gets, they're chasing them down, they're not suspending service, that it could get to $500,000. That doesn't surprise me, really. Good morning, Izzy. How are you?
Good morning, Rob. Sounds to me like you're talking about bankruptcy issues.
Yeah, we're talking about diamond. I was so here by myself, and I'd seen so much mis kind of representation of what the bankruptcy was. I thought just kind of like,
Well, hasn't it been a very interesting month so far with all the stuff that's going on? We get first CGC, then we get this information on bankruptcy. Now we got the comic capsule stuff going on. So there's like
I'll get to that.
everything is
Yeah,
happening all over
let's
the
just
place, and
hope
the month is
Penguin
not even.
doesn't end free shipping. Those kinds
Uh,
of ripple effect. Yeah, that I could understand. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Obviously, I think one doesn't necessarily. What happens at Diamond doesn't necessarily affect Penguin necessarily, in my opinion. I mean, Penguin is
huge.
completely separate entity. Yeah, they're very large, and if anything, Diamond, if potentially people, some LCSs may leave Diamond, and this is where it could affect LCSs more potentially, is if they choose to take those that had been continuing to get their Marvel books from Diamond, because Penguin, when Marvel went to Penguin, they did allow Diamond to continue on as a distributor. Those that chose to remain with Diamond, either because of relationship or because of consolidated shipping charges or whatnot, for whatever reasons, then I could see where potentially if they went over to Penguin, they could incur more charges. But if Penguin's giving them free shipping on certain things, whatnot, then that really again won't affect the LCSs as much. I hope.
I think the LCSs are fine for the most part when it comes to the whole diamond situation of it. Give me 1 second. I gotta say goodbye to my daughter. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, bankruptcy judge, administrator, all sorted out. Yeah, exactly. It all gets sorted out, and businesses have to deal with all that stuff. I mean, courts are heavily involved, and it does. It's a heavy topic for early in the morning, but it was the first thing that jumped into my head that when I'm sitting here by myself, I could actually be somewhat entertaining instead of going like,
So, anybody had
exactly. Good
breakfast?
morning, Marcus.
Hey,
Good
Marcus.
morning.
So yeah, so going back to that whole thing, it's like for the most part,
DC, the
diamond
DC is lunar.
lunar, yeah.
They didn't
Um,
go to did DC go to Penguin? I
not
mean,
that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
I
but
don't
you know
think
what?
so.
Bleecker would know more than I would,
There's a possibility. I'm sure he would,
but it doesn't. But I don't think so, because I
but I
think
think everybody, a lot of people already
DC was
have
doing lunar. Yeah.
people have left diamond for a while, so diamond's been
Well,
slowly getting to that point.
where you can, right? I mean, I think that it
Yeah.
was obviously big when the big two each
Mhm.
set up their own distribution.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, the difference, is as and I'm not an expert on this part of the business, right? But as I understand it, DC set up Lunar, and that was your only option. And then you had, or at least they set up the two, and then they later consolidated the two distributors into just one.
Yeah.
And then Marvel went to Penguin, and then but allowed Diamond to continue to go. So if you're a shop, you have at least two distributors minimum, potentially
Yeah.
three, depending on what you're doing. But there's still certain things that you have to get from Diamond. I mean, I
Diamond
don't know.
still had a stronghold in some places.
They
Yeah.
still had, well, you still had your IDW, your Dynamite, your others. They're a distributor for a lot of people, for a lot of shops,
Mhm.
or get their games and get their statues and their other
Mhm.
things from Diamond as well, because it was a one-stop shop. It allowed you to consolidate your shipping and your ordering, and easier. The less suppliers as a store that you
Easier.
need to order from, the much easier it is for you to run a business,
Mhm.
especially when oftentimes these LCS shops are overly burdened on relying on one or two people to run the business, to man the store, and actually make sure that they have inventory and everything else. So
Mhm. It's like any
100%.
other business, right?
Hmm.
It's easier if you're a restaurant owner, it's easier to get your meats from one spot than to get your meats from multiple spots and then get your vegetables and potatoes from a different spot. If they all offer that same quality service that you're looking for in one spot, it's one bill, that you have to worry about, easier for your accounting, shipping costs, and all that fun. Delivery costs makes it easier. So yeah, you want less. You don't want multiple. Unfortunately, you have to have it because that's the kind of world we live in. But the reality of it is, what happened with Diamond had more to do with the way they were managing their business than really the business. They just didn't move up with the times. They just didn't update themselves. And it was they saw the writing on the wall a while ago, and they just really didn't do much about it. And now they're doing something about it. And I hope, for the sake of Diamond, that they survive. I see them being bought out by somebody sooner or later, because they are liquidating certain things here and there. So,
Well, it's oftentimes so what with these types of things, like if you're trying to be a distributor in multiple in the the UK and here and this and stuff, and trying to be the one shop thing for everything and all these different else one, it's definitely easier to sell off pieces and focus. So, and that's where these types of things really come in. They can, if the core of their business, and I assume the majority of their business comes from U.S. comic book distribution and games, right? In North America, even potentially. So if you refocus on that and you then sell off your other elements, then that allows you to not only free up expenses, but be more focused on what you're doing, but also focus your expenses, reduce your expenses at where you're, and allow you to maximize what your revenue intake versus your expenses there versus potentially someplace else. So somebody else who's local in country or else might be able to do something much more economically at that scale type of thing. So those type of things are very common when you peel off pieces of the business and such. But someone will, even still, even if nothing else, somebody would, or they'll the smaller companies, the smaller distributors and whatnot, or the smaller chemical companies will find relationships with Lunar or Penguin or whatever, and before Diamond there was a billion, there was a bunch of different distributors, and it was just over time they all consolidated, and now who knows, it could all fracture completely, or it could just reconsolidate somewhere else.
It always happens that way, right? It's always like it gets to this point that it could become a monopoly, because for a very long time Diamond did have a monopoly of some kind, some scale. It wasn't enough for them to be split apart by the government. The government looked at it as like, it's too small of a business to split it, so we'll let it go. And then you had the Lunars, and Penguin would jump in. And people forget how big Penguin really is. Penguin is huge.
Yeah, the comic book part of their business is very small.
That's nothing. That's just like a percentage. You know what I mean? That's like 1%. Because they're a book distributor. They do books.
This is interesting, and this would make sense. I mean, if the UK part was the part that's still in the black part of their business, then that makes it very easy for them to sell off that piece of the business. And it might be that it's generating positive revenue, but it's expensive for them to operate vis-a-vis a remote functionality. So being able to, it makes it very easy to spin it off, sell it, to raise capital to help them to settle their existing debts and refocus what they're doing domestically over here. That would make a lot of sense. But so, I mean, that's
CSS Brooklyn is like, it does hurt the smaller publishers. And I use the term publishers more than creators, because I think the creators still have outlets. The creators have more outlets now than they ever did before, and the cost for a creator is cheaper now than it was 10 years ago, because creators have digital platforms now that they could take advantage of, which they didn't have back then. Granted, people love the hard copy book, but this is the world we're living in is going to a digital age. Comic books as we know it are, I hate to use the term, a dying breed.
You bite your mouth.
I said I hate to say it.
Bite your tongue.
Speak the
truth. I'll have none of it.
But the need for the need for hard copies of titles is still desired, and if that desire still exists, they'll still make it. It'll just be harder for smaller companies to get out to make that happen. So that's what I think's the fear. Really, the fear is, how does it affect the smaller company? Keen Spot, since they're mentioning Monster Spears, that might be affected by it. Or, you know, not Image, not Marvel, not DC, they're fine. Dark Horse, fine. IDW, boom, they'd probably be fine. It's the smaller guys.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, all right. So you mentioned also in there, what we mentioned? You mentioned, well, Comic Capsule.
Yeah.
It was funny. It's like, so, you know, I guess I don't even, what is it's unfair because they created an original system to get us in the modern range of it. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I know some people probably are dumping on them. I personally just see it
I
as
wouldn't
part
dump
of
on the Jesse because they've
yeah,
helped so many LCS come out of, you know, get
yeah,
they, you know what, for what it's worth, the amount of stories I'm hearing have been, they've helped this LCS, they've helped this LCS, so they've been in the part of helping LCSs. Now they're in a place that they need help, you know. I'm
yeah.
just saying, it's like, I don't want them to go under, because it's still, they've been around, and it's a part of our life as collectors that, you know, some of us doesn't really affect us like that, but it does affect our shops.
Yeah.
And that's the important part for us.
So you mentioned
Books will live.
Comic Capsules, which I guess they released some. I hadn't heard anything, but until they released
Yesterday. They released it yesterday.
a
It's
statement.
early.
Yeah, a statement where there's some kind of report about the backing imprinting. I don't understand what they said by imprinting
So what's causing,
on the book, because
so what's happening, and it's standard, right? Let's just say like an ID card, right? I got an ID card, right? And in my ID card, the ink on my ID card will kind of be absorbed by the plastic.
oh, so there's okay, there's transfer from the comic book to this.
Exactly. So it's very minimal, but it's enough to raise awareness, right?
Mhm.
What I didn't know that a lot of people do, and people have a tendency of doing it, is they put their comic books without a bag and board inside a comic capsule.
Well, and that existed for a reason, because what happened was, you know, well, the modern book in a modern bag will fit inside their regular one. When they first released their product,
Mm-hmm.
they only had one size.
Yeah.
And the size was, if you take a modern book, you put it in the bag and board and you put it in the product. But if you have a Silver Age book, you put it in there without a bag and a board, because that's how it fit inside the comic capsule. They only just recently came out with the Silver Age size comic capsule. So that would be why people were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're advising people, hey, use a bag and a board, or at least use a poly bag, even if you're not using a board.
Yeah.
And you know, they're going to provide you with they're going to provide people with bags for free. If you need them, let them know, they'll surprise you. So, you know, I think that how they handled it, I think is, you know, hey, look, they got out in front of it before I didn't see people bitching and complaining about it. They said, hey, we're hearing this, we're investigating this. In the meantime, here's our recommendation as a workaround. You know, and we'll even provide you that workaround. Tell us, we'll send you the bags for free, and we'll cover the shipping costs, and you know, going.
I
So
think
hey,
there's an interesting way to approach a customer error. I don't think it's an error on their part at all. Like, instead of them saying, hey, people are complaining about this happening, stop being stupid with the product and put it in the bag. They're like,
well,
hey,
people were following the directions that were given, that the company itself was saying.
Yeah.
The company
they say to put it in there wrong.
They said initially, when the product came out, because it was only one size, if you have Silver Age,
Gotcha.
you put them in there without a bag and a board. And but if it was modern, they said you can leave it in the bag and board. You didn't have to. They didn't say you had to use it, but that you could. I mean, because if you put a regular book in here, a modern book in the regular comic capsule without a bag and a board, it does move about, and that's just, you know, so you don't want that necessarily. But a Silver Age wouldn't fit in the bag and board inside of here, but you took the book out and it slid in there on its own. And that's how they marketed it initially before the release of the Silver Age comic
So
capsule.
they're like, it's like the newspaper effect.
Yeah. So yeah, they were talking about the polypropylene. That's how you say it.
So that's
Polypropylene.
Yes, probably plastic.
Board.
Mhm.
I put
Yeah.
mine in a bag and board.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean a modern. Yeah, that's how you normally would, and
That's
you know,
the one
for
I put in there to take the heroes last year. I haven't taken it.
yeah,
back out
if
yet.
you have the right if you have the right size comic capsule for the right size book, and like I said, it really just I think you know people initially they did tell people that you could put it in there without it. So now you know they're investigating, they're gonna revise it, and they'll go from there. Yeah, that's cool. All right, I don't know that there's much to beat up on that one.
No,
The
there
other
is.
What was the other piece of news you mentioned? You said
So
oh
we
CGC
said,
pricing.
yeah,
Is
I
that what you're
said,
talking about?
in
That's
the
too-
matter of a
yeah.
month.
Oh yeah, in a matter of a month. Yeah,
all this has happened.
yeah, we've already beat up on CGC
No, we don't have to
pricing.
go there. But what's interesting,
Although, yeah, go ahead.
what is interesting outside of comics is the whole TNA WWE announcement that they're
Well,
in
let's stick on
partnership. Even though
comics
they
for just
already
a
were.
second. Before you move on to that, let's finish up the CGC thing. You know, obviously we saw their price increases. The price increases go into effect if you're going to submit books before the price and go up. You have to create your submission. I think before the 20th. I think was the date.
So the submission needs to be created
Before
they
the 20th.
Have it by a certain time.
But
frame
it's like February 2nd or something. So the point being is if you want to get books in under the old rates before the price goes up, your time is limited. The other element of it, the piece that wasn't really put out there as prevalent, the price increase for the tiers, that was pretty well published. But the price for the elite membership, if you're an elite member, that went up.
Really?
30.
That was
That's the high tier.
The high tier for non-businesses.
It was like 250, wasn't it?
It was like 279, and now it's like 329.
Good God!
So you're raising
And
prices
you still only
in
get
general,
You still only get
and
the
you're raising.
150 credit, right?
I'm sorry, Mark. You're raising prices in general on top of raising a membership fee.
Correct. So
And
the
you still only get
the elite
150
tier
credit.
to answer, yeah, Mark, you get this. It's $150 credit but you get a 20% discount on grading and pressing versus the 10% discount that the tier below gets. So you get twice the discount, which just means since they raised their price with the prices, basically you get to pay the same price as you were paying before, which means you still have you got to pay the same price that everybody else paid without a discount before.
Yeah, they eliminated the discount specifically with that price increase.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But guess what? You still get to pay submission form fee because that hasn't gone away. And the raising of the cost for that custom label, holy cow. Woo, $8 now you're paying to have that little character printed on that label.
Some people don't like.
No, well, I don't mind it, but I'm certainly not. I wasn't thrilled at $5. I'm certainly not paying it at $8.
$5 doesn't bother me so much. It's $5.
Well, it wasn't so much that it was $5. It was how much was it as a percentage. See, I look at it. I look at price, and this is where I think that them and like the post office, some of these things they talk about sometimes, price increases. They get by with going, oh well, we're just raising our prices like $2. You know, in the case of CGC, it's just $2. But what is that as a percentage? You know, if you're charging $25 and you're raising it $2, it's you're all of a sudden that's an 8% increase there. What was it coupled now, like I showed on my video, over when you're doing that $2 increase, $2 increase, now all of a sudden in 4 years you've gone up 55% on your pricing, right? So it's a percentage of it. When you go $5 on a $25 submission or whatever, you're talking that's 20% increase. It's a 20% increase in cost just to have that character put on. Now it's $8 on a $27 submission. So now it's even a greater percentage of a markup that they go on there, plus the $5 for the submission fee, plus your shipping, right? Then plus if you go, oh, I need my books back faster because I don't want this long turnaround time, so now I'm going to pay another 50% increase to have a quick turnaround time.
So Rob, I got a question for you regarding
Mhm.
CBSC, whatever, CBCS.
Sure.
All right, Beckett, better.
Mhm.
When you submit your books with Beckett, do they return them back to you with one submission, or if it's similar to the CGC way, where I say if I give them 5 signature books and I give them 2 non-signature books, it ends up being 2 separate
No.
shipments to me.
If so, the difference is in the case of CGC, everything's in a tier. Each tier is its own submission.
Yeah.
So if you submit modern books and vintage books in the same, you're typing it in, it automatically splits it to 2 different submissions, 2 different submission fees, and 2 different shipping fees.
Yeah, of course.
CBCS, if I fill out a mixed order, I can fill it out on one order. I send it in as one submission. There's no submission fee, obviously, and they consolidate it and ship it all back as one. What they do is they say whichever tier is the longest lead time is the lead time that applies to everything in your
And that's
submission.
fine.
Yeah,
That's actually not bad. And that's one of the things that's irritating to me, because when I want to submit books, I want to be able to submit a multiple stack of books, but because of that submission split, it
Mhm.
irritates me because that's a $20 charge right on top of whatever I'm going to be charged on.
Yeah.
I
But
can't stand that.
well, so here's the thing that gets you, right? So think about this now. This is where you really have to kind of start to think about what you want to do. If you take the standard vintage tier, a vintage book, right?
Mhm.
And that book, so that's going to cost you $47 in grading
Looking
fees,
good, Finn.
right? So right now the grading fee is $47 base, plus your $5 submission fee. Now let's just assume for arguments you're shipping just one book in, right? So you're not amortizing that submission fee. So now you're at $52. Plus you probably pay, whether you're doing it at, there you go.
It's the 100th day of school. Finn's 100 years
Nice.
old today.
Oh, wow. He looks good for his age. He's got that Captain America genes going on.
Yeah.
He does. He's got that Benjamin Button.
Yeah. No, regardless of whether
A little bit more be like Rob Fatsacks with that mustache.
Yeah, get some curl going on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's walking like he's got club foot too. He's got like a little
He's got a bit of gout, a little bit of gout.
a touch of the gout.
I got some medication for that in case you need it.
But now you're sending in that vintage book, you're probably having it cleaned and pressed. Now, whether or not you have it cleaned and pressed there, or whether you have it cleaned and pressed at an independent, let's just assume that you don't do it yourself for sakes of argument. You're talking anywhere from, you're talking at least $15 plus, that shipping fee or whatever potentially in there. But let's say you have somebody local who does it. You're just paying them $15. They're cleaning and pressing your book for you. So now you add that on to there. Now all of a sudden, now you're at $68 on that. And then you got to pay your shipping to ship the book into them, and you're shipping back to that. All of a sudden now the cost of grading a book on a vintage tier can cost you $75+ minimum. All told. So you've got to really evaluate,
Well, that was
which
one of the
books.
reasons why I hesitated to get books graded back then, right? So I used to hear the line all the time. It only costs $20 to get them graded, or it only costs $23 to get them graded. And
It's
people
the
would
other
say
cost
that.
with it. Yeah.
People would say that like, oh, that's all it's going to cost me. I'll submit it. And then I get this nice little bill for like $65 or $75 or even $100, depending on the book. And I'm like, I thought it was only $25. You know what I mean? That's the part that's so deceiving in that way.
Yeah, it runs up fast somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I mean, obviously you don't send in normally just one book because of all that. Yeah, that's why you have to kind of do
I would try to do
books
3.
to try to.
The first time I tried to submit, because I had the credit, I'm like, I'm going to submit 5, and then I ended up getting a bill. I'm like, I thought I did the math on this. So then the next time I submitted 3, and it killed my credit with the 3. I'm like, okay, so 3 is the magic number because the credit killer fees.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to pay shipping and stuff. It's not covered by the credit, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, you're going to have they add up. There is economy of scale when doing larger things, but I mean, it's just, their system is, you're going to be without your books for a while, and that's just the way it is. And unless you really pay more for fast track, and their whole system is designed to ultimately try to get people to pay fast track, because then it's a close to a 50% add-on for them to do the same job.
Rob, you remember what was it? Whatever, the bubble, when everyone started bum rushing CBCS with fast track, it was still like at a year. Remember that? Because so many people were
I was tracking stuff. Yeah. I had, but it was very common for you to have books in CGC that would drop when you looked at your books, that your status, they would drop off their status window because they were in there longer than they maintained books on that status window. So that happened all the time. It was crazy. The only books that were being done quick were either the walkthrough ones or sometimes their signature event stuff that was going on.
Walkthrough still wasn't showing up at the promised, agreed upon, paid upon time.
The biggest thing was that you ship a book into them, and you had, if you just did normal submission during their worst point, it was 3 months or more just to get checked in. You would see it delivered, and then it was there. That's why now when you go to their window, they have a spot where you can check your tracking number to see if it's been received at least, because they didn't have that and people were going crazy. I see people Bleeker talking about PSA has a good opportunity to be number one in the market. They aren't stupid. I'd be curious to see about this, because look, CBCS had opportunities many, many times, right? And obviously PSA and CBCS are very different things. But one of the things that I heard over and over again, regardless of anything else, was people say, well, I don't like their fucking label. Sorry, Mark. I don't like their label. It's all the people. There's so many people who they just like, oh, I want it all to look the same. I want it all to be this. I want that. Right. And so now they're all of a sudden going to give up on their love of one label, and they're going to go to that red and white label. I don't know that I see that happening. Bleeker, welcome to the discussion.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We welcome your unique insight.
I don't know if I have any unique insight, but I got some insight.
Here's my take. My take on the whole PSA. If the quality of the slab lives up to what people's expectations are going to be, it's not going to be overnight success. I don't think it'll be an overnight success. I think it'll be a gradual success, and I think that's what they're banking on. They're not banking, because they're taking their time on this, and I think that's a good point, is that they're taking their time because they know it's going to probably take time to convince those people.
They could take the market. I think that's stupid. CBCS is Beckett. Beckett's established and well loved. And it's stupid that they don't call their comic grading service Beckett Comics. It's stupid they don't stand on that name recognition like they do for playing cards or baseball cards. When it comes to PSA, it's different in the comic realm. The label matters. We've learned that research has been done. Unfortunate for CBCS. The quality of the slab doesn't matter. It does to a degree. That's why CBCS updated theirs, but CBCS has had the superior slab for years now, and they have not dominated the market while having it. If PSA can show up with a decent slab, a good-looking label, and just splash the market, they will take it from CBCS.
Yeah,
but they won't do
I
that.
honestly don't understand.
In the groove.
I don't understand how these companies, like, it doesn't. Okay, guys, we're gonna make a label. I just don't fucking get it. I don't get why they're all so shitty. Like, you don't have one guy in the office that knows how to fucking use a computer and be like, look at this, guys, this looks great.
Well, there's not that one guy that's
generals either, right?
You need that one guy that's a no man when you're in the meeting, like, all right, we're going to use our famous, like, with comics, that doesn't work. I woke up from my nap, and before my nap, people showed that labels matter. CBCS had to finally change theirs when they went on the tirade for years. We're keeping our label simple because the comic is the show. It doesn't work. It doesn't work if there's a product out there that's doing it better. You have to do better than your competitor or close to it for people to even consider you.
Yeah, it's not hard to make a cool label, man. It's
It's not hard.
simple, nice, elegant. Like
Hey, I see Mark
these
make
are
better
words
labels
thrown
than
around often and
It
often.
is. It is a good point, though. However, that you bring up, Bleakers, or sorry, that Brooklyn brings up is like it all comes about. You know, what happens at Heritage, right? You know, if a big book, somebody takes that gamble on a big book, and they have it done by PSA, and those things start selling equal to or greater than CGC books, then
I don't
people.
think Heritage is the measuring stick.
Well, but it's a place where you
Heritage
start to
is
see
the
the
place
big
where
books
the
that get the
people
big
go.
splash.
That's where the people go who are like in the league of their own. You know what I mean? Like they're not paying for that CGC service. They're not even paying for the qualified grade. Really, they're paying for the book that happens to be in case.
Well,
To a degree,
Heritage
yeah,
has its
but
own set of problems.
It's
those
They're
grades make
involved
a big difference.
in
I'm just
dictating the market. They're involved with CGC
Those,
behind the scenes. Like
those
Heritage has
people
its
would buy a
all its own set of
PGX. Is my
problems.
point, though. Like they're you see prices move at Heritage because certain shoppers only shop at Heritage. Like those big pocket people, like that's where they go to. You see stuff on Heritage go for 10 times its value on other platforms, unless you're looking at like that A-list collector tier kind of book.
yeah, there's definitely that. I'm just saying is that it's a splash. It gets splash headlines,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And those headlines then help to get that information out that oh hey these sell for money. Then
Which
you
one
know
do
that
y'all think dictates more the grading market, the what Heritage is putting up for auction, or what the literally tens of thousands of vendors every weekend setting up shows for a full-time job?
well obviously yeah the volume does it, but I think I'm just saying that the Heritage I think does play into it from a standpoint of getting that
Yeah,
splash
good press. Yeah,
news.
you get some good
Yeah,
press.
splash news, right? That's all. There are some short comments here I want to get to that are good. Let's see. So here, aggressively waxing grading choices are out there. Will remind you the greatest grades and the great. Okay, great. Yeah, killing the Lucas art. Winder grading. Everybody gets a 6.0. That's fair.
There you go.
I got some books I'll definitely send you then because I could use a grade bump. Let's see.
That's good.
EGS does a great job on labels. I will disagree, Dale.
I
Well, I agree.
Labels.
So here's the thing. I will agree that if you want to dress up and do cosmetic stuff with your label, it's fun to play with. But as of the last time I got a book from them and looked at it in their new slab stuff, that label is not secure in their holder, and it's got a lot of waviness. It flops about. It's not always upright. So that matters as much as the fact that I can put cheetah print on my freaking label to match my first appearance of cheetah comic book or something. You know, I mean it's fun, and they're definitely in a unique situation, in a unique position, and they're doing something as a small grader to be able to do their unique thing. And they do definitely have some that they've done that look really good. I've done some that we've sold on Comics Curing Cancer, where I took some and we color matched the label to the book, the majority of what's on the cover of the book, and put different logos on it to match what was going on and make it a cool theme. And we got the Comics Curing Cancer logo put on the back of the label. And it was cool as a unique item. Unfortunately, which is good for some collectors, but that again does that expense. That is an expense that adds on to all that. And if you go to move those books, that's becomes an issue. If you're, as people always say, it's dictated by the economy of the market, and EGS is harder to move than PGX. So
it also says eggs on my book. I don't want that.
Let's see. Yeah, they color splash label. Yeah, it's basically like I said. It's just you get to play Barbies with your label, which is confusing when you're later on as a buyer looking through somebody's collection or somebody or a vendor's thing. Is like, go, I don't know, is this a qualified grade? Is this a restored grade, or what is it? It's what's a black label?
You don't know the color means because it means what
CGC
it's personalized.
has trained us, unfortunately.
But it's also personal. It
brainwashed
becomes
us.
personalized, which is not something you actually really unless you want to keep it for yourself and you have no desire to move it, that's not a good idea.
Oops, sorry, Mark. What were you highlighting?
I wouldn't think it was on par with what y'all were talking about.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I think if they do the right moves, they will be dominant. I could see it in 5 years.
I'm behind a bit. Do I read New Gods or JSA first?
I answered that in the comments.
Oh.
I honestly think I don't think it matters timeline wise. What's going to happen is we just need another CGC fumble. Like I don't think it matters. Like PSA is super established. They're the top dogs in their field, but comics aren't their field. There's already a top dog in their field.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's where we see no matter.
Business, but are they going to like just automatically shift to being number one in the market? That just doesn't.
Oh no, that's not going to happen.
That
has to happen within time.
That's not necessarily that either, because like look at CBCS again. Like that PSA is really no different than CBCS in my mind, because Beckett isn't like a CBCS, and they're not a nobody. Like they're big name in grading companies, but they just weren't in comics. But everyone waited. Like people dabble with them. They're a successful business. They're not a CGC though. But when CGC frustrated all their customers fled and went to CBCS, so much so that it caused CBCS problems. They dropped the ball. They missed their window.
Mm-hmm.
They had the flood of people that went to CBCS, so much so that they moved locations to a bigger location even. Their wait times turned into CGC's wait times. They started losing people's books. All kinds of stuff happened. If they wouldn't have
respond to emails.
They couldn't respond to emails, and they wouldn't get the new label out. Like they started talking about we might do a new label, but like Bleeker said, like you don't have one person there that can just graphic design, take 2 seconds to make a label, just something, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah,
but if they're ready, if PSA is ready, if CBCS is ready for the next time CGC pisses their customers off, that could be it. That could take a month. It could take 5 years. It could be whatever. But I think that's what it takes, because people are stuck in their ways, and that's not a bad thing. But
CGC's had a scandal once every 6 months since I can remember. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, but it seems like the only thing that actually pisses people off proper is messing with your customers' money. Like you can have a scandal, people can talk about you, but it looks like that turns into the any press is good press thing because no one leaves them. But if you make 1.5 year wait times, that's the magic. That's the magic button that you push where people we can't do business with you because we're trying to run a business and your model conflicts with our model, so I have to go elsewhere.
Well, their wait times are ridiculous right now, and now they're raising prices as well. So now I get to pay more and wait longer. So
we're getting there. We're getting there again, aren't we?
They're like the Teflon Don, right? Nothing sticks to them, no matter what they do. But it's mind-boggling, really.
But that's the point. That's why I say PSA. If they come in strong, right now they're testing the waters and seeing what people like, what they don't like. Obviously, people don't like the labels.
Yeah, they're already showing they're at a mental disadvantage if they think they have to test the waters.
Well, but that's just common though. They're doing it. They're going out. They're showing things to people. They're doing, and I'm not here to, I'm not here saying I'm going to be a PSA guy or anything like that. I'm saying is they're doing their things so that when they come out, they want to be able to come out strong. That's what they want to do. When they come out, I don't know. Sometime this year, I'm assuming it's going to happen during San Diego. That's my assumption.
Yeah, I just don't. In my mind, I feel like this is one of those businesses where all the research is already done for you. Do we have to have our labels matching the other companies? Yes. Do there need to be white boxes? Yes. Do we need to separate? It's all done for you. You can't be an outlier.
And I think maybe hearing that is going to make them make that decision. Will they do it? That's only time to tell, because they got pretty stubborn management up there, from what I hear.
CBCS hasn't had a signing since. I
thought I saw something from them.
They've had some mail-in signings and such. Yeah. And I know I saw an announcement that they were just at SAC Anime Con and such.
Their presence in cons is just sad.
Yeah.
CBCS's
presence at cons is terrible. My buddy got X-Men 1 graded at a CBCS table at a con, and they stole it. And then they were like, "Oh no, we better find this book," and it somehow magically returned to them. It's ridiculous.
Well, look at it from
They
this perspective.
explained
New
to
York
him what
Comic
happened
Con.
with that.
They didn't ever explain anything. They didn't ever say that anyone got fired. My honest guess is that somebody called in a buddy, said, "I got this book," gave it to him, and then that guy from CBCS said, "Listen, man, you got to get this book back because it's real hot right now." That's my guess, but who knows?
Yeah.
I just like to point out that we're nearly an hour into this show, and we have been talking non-stop comic news information. For those of you guys who've said that this channel just doesn't do enough comic talk, I don't know what you're watching the rest of the week because it's nothing but comic talk. This is the one show where we kind of go off the rails at times, but we've been focused, laser focused.
Hey,
In
madam.
keeping with that theme, how's it going, Steph?
Yeah. I noticed you guys were deep in comic talk, and I thought, like, I can't contribute right now. Like, I need to stay off, right? So
Now you're on here to distract us. Thank you.
And now I realize that's a lot of comic talk. We need to break it up.
Right. We do call it the pop culture. Yeah, so it's not just about that. It started off as when I was here while Mark was finishing up his beauty sleep that I had at least something to talk about that was focused, and we went on from there. But we're here. Hi, everybody. Mark's here.
Hey,
Say hello, Mark.
Leaker's here.
Hey,
Leaker?
good morning, madam. How you doing?
Leaker, are you in there?
I'm sort of in here. It's early. I've been sick all week, man.
Cabinet? You in a cabinet or a coffin?
Oh, I've been sick all week. I've literally been in bed for like the last 3 days. It's been terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, man. Yeah, it just sucks. I don't know what the fuck's going on over here, but
There's a lot of people I know have been getting sick. The stuff going around. Some of them, it seems to be two different things. There's some that just feel awful, and then there's some that can't keep food down and either goes down or through.
yeah, I got like some walking pneumonia or some bullshit. I don't know. But
So apparently there's a winter, talking about comics, there's a winter forecast. Next week's supposed to be pretty bad here. Extreme lows and frigid temperature. I just got ordered to work from home on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah.
I'll be working outside on those days. Yay.
Well, anywho, let's see. Mark, I finished Landman. So I got caught up essentially and watched the final episode within a week, I guess, of when it came out. So despite my being behind on the schedule, I got caught up on it. I will tell you, it was good. I'm not like, oh my God, this is like great and everything. It was like, primarily I was interested in the Sun storyline more than anything else.
Yeah.
Although, some of the stuff is interesting to see where they're going to go now in season 2, potentially with obviously
the introduction of said actor at the very end there. That was cool as hell.
I mean, obviously it looks like, the intimation is that potentially drug financing is going to be introduced into the oil business, or at least a desire for it. But
are we going to talk about Neil Gaiman or what?
Oh God.
This week on getting this stream flagged. This stream gets flagged every single week. Last week I was surprised it got flagged. I'm like, what did we talk about last week? I'm like, it had to be our conversation on the fires.
Oh yeah, probably.
There's still like platform moderation is still really extreme. I don't want to say it's really extreme because you don't know what you get flagged for now, but they still flag you for random stuff here on YouTube. They don't like people talking about stuff.
Yeah, they don't like people talking about medical stuff, and there's a bunch of stuff that you're not allowed to talk about.
Wow.
I didn't know.
But yeah, Neil Gaiman's probably on that list of flaggable things.
He can go party with P. Diddy and them.
He's stating his innocence and said he's not going to roll over on this, and he's not. Yeah, so allegations against him. He denies them and publicly came out and said, I'm not just going to accept these allegations. I want to fight back against them. This is not okay.
Who are you talking about?
Neil Gaiman.
I
Neil.
figured that was the name
He
you were
did
talking
it.
about.
But I do want to point out that we went through this a while back, and that gentleman unalived himself. So let's not go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait till the facts come out, people.
No, that's not how we work. We rush to judgment based on
We got
tabloids
all
and
about allegations here.
Oh, no.
this is America.
Speculations were
Yeah, speculation is the word we use.
It's the comic book industry. Spec is what it's all about.
It's fair.
What's second
Today,
trending?
in human speculation, we have
And sometimes you hit that right, and sometimes you're wrong, but you just move on and pretend that you hit it right.
yeah. If you get it wrong, you just change the subject and move on.
I'm just starting to think my choice of writers is not very good. Fucking writer. God dang it, another one? God dang it all.
Says
I've
he
read
doesn't-
his writings. They're not that far off.
No, that's
I'm just saying, but oh well. Yeah, it's more like a military system. Guilty until proven innocent, or not
Yeah.
even guilty until proven not as guilty. Because you're still guilty, right? Because somehow you had to lead something. You did something to get to this point.
GI Robot wasn't originally a Creature Commando guy, was he? He was just GI Robot. Like it was James Gunn that threw him into Creature Commandos. But Jeff Johns is clearly not hiding it, nor has he ever hid it. His inspiration for Ghost Machine was his time at DC. That's why you have the checker box across the top. That's why you have the who's pages in the back of the comics. His
It is
inspiration. His inspiration for a lot of the stuff is his love for DC Comics, and you can even watch the Hangout stream I did with Jeff Johns, Fabok, and Gary Frank, where he explains it straight to us in that as well.
yeah. It's not the first time a character might have been heavily influenced by another character in comics.
Doesn't Geiger look like Dr. Phosphorus?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He doesn't hide that at all. Not 100%. He grew up a DC kid, and everything about comics that he does is inspired by his love for DC.
Creature Commando
And Dr. Phosphorus definitely isn't a Creature Commandos character until James Gunn. He's like a Batman bad guy most of the time.
he's a Batman guy, yeah.
Yeah. James put the
but he actually becomes
there.
he becomes the inspiration of what becomes Blight in Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blight's actually awesome in Batman Beyond.
Excellent.
I don't think Jeff Johns is done with DC. I just think he's away from DC.
I think it's just a time thing. Like maybe if the guy had time, he would. I want him to be done with it for now, just because he doesn't have time, and it affects his work.
Well, he does other things outside of comics that are really important.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roscoe has entered the building.
What's up, my man Roscoe?
Oh,
I know you might
Erica Slaughter. It was awesome.
You might have missed him because he's a freaking shell of the man he once was. Congratulations, sir. Your before and after pictures are nothing but freaking inspirational and breathtaking. Holy Toledo.
He's definitely half the man he used to be, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
He looks like a TM nerdy impersonator now.
A TM nerdy impersonator.
He does.
He's half the man he used to be, but his glasses are still 5 times bigger than his head.
Hey, talent is still there. That's the important thing.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah, phenomenal. Oh, great googly moogly.
Are we getting a Swamp Thing movie?
That's
Yeah,
always
James
been in
Man-
the works with James Mango. He's in development. He's been in development for a while, but
Potentially going to
That's
start filming
really
this
movie.
year. He's still working on this.
I just
script.
read something about it the other day. Thought maybe you guys would know more about it.
they asked him about it. He says, "Oh yeah, he's involved, but they're not even close to a story, so you ain't
They're
gonna see
trying to
anything
figure
coming.
out what story they would want to do.
Well, that's good because I really still need to buy that first appearance. So if they can hold off for a minute, that'd be
You
great.
better hurry.
Yeah, fuck, I know, bro. I know, man.
That book will always
Clock
be
is
hot.
ticking, bro.
I'm the one I'm already looking at's $4,000. I'm like, come on, bro.
$4,000 is a good
don't-
price for that book, I guess.
Don't expect it to go down. You must be looking at about a 3.5.
8.0 actually.
Oh wait, that book's low then. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's a lot of money.
It is. You should look at the 3.5s.
There's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
few times. Anytime I think you go to 4 figures on a comic book, it's definitely a lot of money.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit. So it's taken a minute for me to buy
To
this
work.
one.
Even if you have the
And I
money,
take
it just
it you want
feels
House of
different.
Secrets?
Yeah, it does. It's. I mean, the first time I crossed that threshold, it was a threshold I thought I would never cross, and then when I did, sadly, it's gotten a little bit easier, but still, it hurts every single time.
It
And
just
but
feels reckless.
It does feel reckless because
it-
like
it-
the most
it-
I've spent on a comic to date is probably about $1,000, a little more than $1,000. And after I don't know, like getting past 1,000, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean the most I ever spent was on the ASM one, and that was like 3,500 at the time, and that was a big. That was tough. That was that when I called home. I'm all, even though I had the money and it was my money and stuff, I still called my wife and I'm like, oh, I'm about to do something here, and I just want to make sure that you're, and she goes, am I talking you into or out of? And I said, neither. I just want to sound this off of you to sound it out to make sure that to verbalize this to make sure that this is really what I want.
That's being a good husband right there.
So a
And-
3.0 of House of Secrets went on sold. Last selling was $900.
I will say that House of Secrets. I talk about House of
digits.
Secrets 92, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I will say that there has been one committed to comics curing cancer for this year,
Yeah.
but from DVH, the man picked up 2 copies here. It's a low grade copy, but he picked up a copy that he has announced he is donating to comics curing cancer.
That is awfully nice of him.
That's awesome.
I think it's like a 1.8 or something like that, but it's still.
Either way, that's you can easily sell that.
Hey, we did with the we've had several books at low grade like that. That's great. It's perfect for what we need, for somebody's opportunity to get a big book at a great price. Yeah,
Well,
I'd
some
rather
books
have a
have to be a
little
starter
stack of
book, right?
low-grade keys.
Yeah. exactly. Starter book.
There have to be a starter book where you say, I can't afford this one, but I could afford that one, and then build on getting it at higher grades within time, or be happy with what
Dude,
you
and
have.
for the
It's like-
in
It's
all
like starter
reality,
crack, you just need a
Yeah.
little bit first.
Yeah.
He says it's a 1.0 CBCS.
and for a lot
Oh,
of
never
people,
mind. Okay,
that's not
forget
even
about
a
it.
starter book.
Never
Like, you
mind, I'm not buying
you
it.
start
Not just
talking
kidding. Not just
$300 books. That's like that's books that people don't ever buy. There's a
Yeah.
vast majority of people that don't spend $300 on a book. So that's
Yeah.
that could potentially be someone's best book in their collection forever.
Even the first time I spent $300, I felt like I was doing the wrong thing. I was like, oh man, $300 for a comic book. Ugh.
Dude, I wasn't like one of the first people to jump on eBay by any stretch of the imagination. My first eBay purchase, like I didn't set up an account until 2019. And I remember spending $40 on a book, and I felt like I was sick to my stomach putting $40 into eBay, and then have like watch out the window, like I hit purchase and just go straight to the blinds. I'm like, where is this shit? Are they gonna send it?
It's very weird what you get used to. You spend that 40, then you spend the 100, then you spend the 200 or 300, then you
Then
spend the
you're
9.
just like, yeah, if they don't send it, oh well, I'll get my money back. No big deal.
Yeah, the number of times when I'm looking at books, that I'm tracking on books that I want, where I go straight to $500 nowadays is a sad commentary. Although I do not buy them as often as I used to. It's more of a, okay, that's the range I'm targeting. Now, if I could just we try to get something a little bit better for the same price.
I only buy a few big books a year though. I don't buy I don't go spending crazy amounts of money on comics or anything. But I'll spend good money on comics if I think it's worth it.
I'm definitely not picking up
y'all go through
$500 books every
phases?
week by any stretch of the imagination, or even every
Y'all
month
kind
for
of
that
go
matter.
through phases. Like I find myself, I've always done this where I'll have like a hair up my ass to just like go key shopping online, like just kind of window shop for big books, and I just feel like I want a key, and then I go through these long droughts where I don't feel like getting shit. I just want to get my books and read them. And if I accidentally see something, I might get it, I might not. I tend to just like not give a shit anymore unless I go to Heroes. And this isn't turning into an advertisement for Heroes, but that's what I did last year. I think the only big shit I got last year was at Heroes minus First Captain Atom.
There's definitely for me, I mean, because I do maintain a list of books I'm always seeking, I'm looking out from time to time, but the bigger books more and more, I much prefer to, I'll take that list with me and try to go find them at cons or other places, because for me, you know, I'm in California.
We're sorry.
9.75% sales tax on top of whatever I'm spending from
More than us.
on those sales platforms. Plus, then I got to pay for shipping and stuff too. So those things factor in if I'm buying a book. You know, like when I bought the Iron, you know, the first Hawkeye book, you know, that was a book that I was targeting around 500. The guy dropped it to $400. I bought it, but by the time I factor in shipping and taxes onto it, I was, you know, around $470 something. So it was close to what I was originally targeting to spend on a book. But, you know, that's why I was able to go ahead and pull the trigger on it on the online platforms, because the seller dropped it, you know, 20% off his asking price to make it so it factored out. Otherwise, yeah, I look at those books, and that's why when I go to Heroes, I'm not digging through the little bins. I'm making that trick. I'm there to get the bigger books. At the cons, I'm going to try to get those bigger books a lot of times for that same reason. And I also find myself I get on these side kicks where I get distracted, like right now with my Eternals run and stuff, where I get hype, I become focused on that. But at least it's a cheap run that I'm, you know, when I'm going after it. So
how many issues were in it?
There were 19 issues.
I find big books at cons though. Cons they're so expensive. Anything that's like a good big
tag prices are. Tag prices might be, but that's not the prices that you're paying.
No, and I'm going to say that's like such a common that's a common knowledge kind of thing, that con prices are high prices. Yes, they are, but you shouldn't be paying tag prices.
I've got deals at cons. Don't get me wrong. I'll squeeze for a deal or two, but
yeah,
sometimes
I happily tell you firsthand, if you go to a dealer and like you got to dip your toes in with the dealer to see how they operate, what they're thinking. And they were at a show last week and the prices have dropped. They didn't change all their prices. If you find that dealer that doesn't wiggle on prices, you just move on. And that guy is rare in a Hoshin of comics like Heroes Con. I don't think I've ever gotten better deals on big books than what I get at Heroes Con, because it's the supply and demand. There's
so many vendors there.
That's what I think that's what I deal with here.
Well, that's the benefit of Heroes, right?
There's just not a lot of comic vendors. That's all. There's like 5, 6.
Yeah. So the benefit of Heroes Con is the fact that it is a con for
the volume. Yeah.
Right. And like you said, volume. So you have people literally competing with themselves in order to get that buck from you. Yeah, so this guy sells the book for 3,000. Well, that guy's gonna sell it for 25. That guy's gonna sell it for 2. And then you have to constantly do that.
They're legitimately coming down that much. Like you can, it's not hard to find someone to come down that much either. Like that's legitimate talk right there.
You're not going to get that in New York Comic Con. You're not going to get that in San Diego, because they know someone's going to pay that price in those places. But in Heroes Con,
a lot of these vendors that are regulars for Heroes, they're like, all right, this is where we get our capital up. This is where we just do a lot of horse trading. This is where we leave with a lot of cash. This is where we leave with a lot less product. So bring a lot. And I think they kind of know the landscape there. So like, I think I've ran into one guy that I tried to barter with, and he just wasn't. And it was last year, and it was before open on Friday morning. So a little bit a little bit of credit to him, but he was sitting there trying to bullshit on the first appearance of Ghost Rider, and I was even live streaming this show. And Rob's already laughing because he knows what I did. I went down like a few more booths, like dealed up with this guy for like a way higher grade for way less money, and then I held the book in my chest and made sure I did a lap back to that guy's booth, and it was just streaming while holding that book so that guy can see that I just went and bought a higher grade than he was offering me, and just like I'm petty like that.
Yep, absolutely, bro.
Like he had a 1.8 I was talking to him about. I ended up with a 3.5.
Beautiful.
So like even if he doesn't know how much I paid, he just knows that I came out of pocket, and I still paid I think $50 less than what he was trying to sell the 1.8 for.
What was that? Your Spotlight 5 or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
nice.
think not everyone is comfortable bargaining, though. Like honestly,
if you're a dealer, you should be able to bargain.
I think not everyone is that person, though. I think
you mean the shopper or the dealer?
Meek and they're just going to be like, "How much is it?" And they'd rather just pay it than have to, keep talking.
Yeah, the customer is what she's talking about, Izzy.
No, the customer I get that with the customers, but I'm saying dealers need to know how to do that.
Yeah, this guy was just he was kind of coming off a little douchey, which I'm not like judging him on that, pot calling the kettle black there, but he just legitimately was trying to convince me that the book cost what he had it priced for. I'm like, not cost, but that was the fair market value. I'm like it, and I even told him like, we have the internet, right? Like I'm streaming right now, but I can walk to my booth and use my buddy's phone. We have the internet too. Like that book isn't worth that. Because there's only 2 books that I did like half-ass research on, just seeing like the grade price range on. Because there was 2 specific books I wanted, and it was like a Hulk. It was a Hulk 2 or 3, and then the Ghost Rider. That's all I planned on getting before I left. And so I knew what it was like, way out of price. But I don't know. It's still fun to try to get him to come down. Yeah,
it's also Friday too. You gotta give dealers on Friday. They're like, get out of here, bro. Come back Sunday, and maybe you'll get a deal.
Dude, see, that's the thing. On Sunday, I don't know where I walked to. I walked somewhere, like not to buy anything, but when I was walking back, I passed a booth that I hadn't passed before, and I did a double take because I'm like, oh, there's Blue Beetle #1, first appearance of the question. Like, hey, how much you want for that? They gave me a number. I didn't even hesitate. I responded with like a $200 less offer, and they froze, and I said, cash. So like, deal. I'm like, all right, be right back. And I went and grabbed my cash, went back and bought it just on a whim.
Yep,
but the Sunday prices,
mark that down.
They're good. They're good. So I got the first appearance of the question while I was there this year too.
Nice. That's actually cool.
That cleared out the Charlton first appearance keys except for Captain Atom, which is that Space Adventures is hard to find at a good price. But I ended up finding one online. It looked like a scam because of how good the price was, kind of thing. And it worked out. Dealer beating is what you have to do to get them deals.
Yes. And sometimes it works, and sometimes you just walk away.
Yeah. And more than often it works. But yeah, you got to be okay with walking away.
Yeah, I don't begrudge people. Hey, some of these guys are fixed on what they think that they got to recoup their cost, and most of those guys though, they understand at the end of the day that they're in the market fluctuates, and sometimes they win, sometimes they don't, and they just need to sometimes you got to turn inventory to get new capital so maybe you're gonna miss out on this one, but now the market's low, so let me go get this capital so I can go buy something low that I can sell high later, to make up for it, type of thing. So rather than waiting for the market to come up to you or find somebody that doesn't know the market and is willing to overpay.
Appreciate that, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll believe it. I'll believe that Mark looks like Rocky Balboa as soon as you put a couple raw eggs in a glass.
I'm not doing it. I'll put raw eggs in a glass, but that's where it ends. It stops right there.
You gotta just swallow them whole, man.
I don't swallow.
Like he did.
That's disgusting.
You don't swallow it? You're more of a spitter?
Hey, another good tactic is me and Rob had some success 2 years in a row now just with the tag team method. So we won't not even talking about the first one, which was like it was when you're in the ring at the same time, the ref couldn't get one of us back out. But last year,
and we're not talking about the bedroom afterwards. That's a different story.
No, but That's compensation for my
Services.
services.
Services
But
rendered.
last year, I'm doing a quick walkthrough because we had the booth, so like we weren't just meandering around as a group. Like me, DJ, or Rob we would, you know what I mean? Like someone would go try to do a fast.
I had targeted that I wanted, you know, essentially I went in there and I had
right there on the wall.
There's the A book I want, and if I can get this A book at this price, then I had a smaller list of other books I was look at, and if I couldn't get that A book, then I had a different list of different books I would target at higher prices, and that was I wanted to get Brave and the Bold 28, and I had targeted. I wanted a 3.0, and I wanted to spend somewhere around $2,100 to $2,400. That's what I had targeted it should go for in that range.
So Rob was manning the booth, and I was meandering around. This
was before. So we were actually the booth with the floor wasn't open yet. So I was out looking at vendors, and you were looking at a different section of vendors because I was just surveying the floor to find out, okay, where are all the Brave and the Bolds at, and what are people asking?
So I found a 3.0 spot on, and I saw the price on it, and I had obviously I'm not planning on buying it. It's not me looking for it. Like that book's this is me just looking for Rob. But I'm just like, hey, can I see that Brave and the Bold? He gets it down. I'm looking at it. I ask him like, you got wiggle room, and we bartered back and forth and set on a price. I'm like, all right, that might could work. Hold this for me. I'm gonna go grab my homie who's wanting to buy it. He'll be right here. So I already bartered down and then left, and I tagged Rob out, and he came back, which I told him the price that we just discussed, and he came over there and he started at that price and bartered down from there. And
Nice.
left with the book.
Yeah, it was funny. It was like, because I'm going like, okay, well, I was like, yeah, well, I don't know. I was kind of thinking this price, and you know, was what I was targeting for. So maybe I'll continue to look around. And that's, you know, the con's not starting. He's looking at an opportunity because it was Friday before the con opened. So he's looking at an opportunity to, you know, be up $2,400 before we even start.
You just covered your cost.
Yeah.
You covered your cost.
The booth's paid for and then some, because the booths aren't that expensive there. And he goes, well, are you paying cash? And I said, absolutely. And then he goes, all right. And so I pull it out, and he's like, oh, or so I said, no, I think I said like something like, oh, only brand new, freshly printed $50 bills or something like that, or something. And he made some comment about that they were all super clean. And I said, yeah, I just printed them this morning, you know, but did a little Coke through them so that way they pass as a American currency. And,
American.
But yeah, it was great. And then it set the tone. Then I knew the rest of the con. I said, okay, that's obviously my big budget item. That means I had X budget. Means now I knew I was targeting my C tier books plus my commissions, as opposed to getting a whole bunch of B tier books instead, right? So, and I like that approach. It's super easy for me on a con if I know this is the one thing I want. Try to hit that big first, because that determines the budget for everything else for the rest of the show.
That's fair.
I don't know what it's going to be this year. I got to figure that out, but I got time. I hear rumors. I know everybody's super excited, but I really hear rumors, folks. Heroes Con's not till June. There's a few cons in between.
Have been made. It's people
excellent
are talking.
point, Rob. Excellent point.
I see everybody booking their hotels already like that.
Well, that part I get, because they do go. And if you want, you know, the room rates are set. They're not going to be any cheaper.
They're not going to get any cheaper.
I'd rather the haggle prices.
And you can still cancel them if you want to, because you're not paying out of pocket for that right this second. But you also, you know, you book and secure that, right? So I totally get that, because I jumped on it as soon as they announced the Westin was available. I was, you know, and I saw the rates. I'm in, because I know that their negotiated rates that they have for the con are really good, because essentially you pay the weekday rate through the weekend is the way they got it set up. So it saves you a lot of money.
Rob, would you rather pay sticker prices and sticker prices just be set in stone? You walk up and you know, or would you rather have the price tags you have to haggle over? I don't want haggling to be looked at as a negative thing either, because haggling is just conversating.
I think it's definitely. in America, it's a little bit weird because we're not a barter society or there's only certain things. It's like it's acceptable to negotiate on your car and on your on certain big ticket items, whereas opposed to other places in the world where you barter and negotiate on everything. But then there's certain venues where even in America, you go to a flea market, you barter and negotiate on everything, right? I think it's always good for flexibility. The only places that should be fixed in stone are big corporate retail establishments, because at the end of the day, it's like, look, if they're not asking for fair price, or when you're in a dynamic market, it's impossible for it always to be there. And it's always good to be able to, hey, let me do this. And obviously, yeah, that means some people who have better negotiating skills may get better deals. But you know what?
Yeah, I like Scott's little mindset. He likes prices when he looks at them and goes, man, I can't even argue with you. And what you're describing is Pop's Attic on Instagram. Guaranteed lowest prices.
It is. Yeah, it is nice. Sometimes you do see. I mean, that's exactly what when I bought with the first Hawkeye, when I bought recently, it was like, I was looking at it at $500. It was a price I had targeted. It was a fair price that they were asking, and I was thinking about it. But when he said, when they threw out an offer and he said, hey, $400, I didn't even hesitate. It was just like, claim before somebody else sees this.
That's what I did with that Captain Adam. I just bought it and said, then I looked at the seller, then I looked at his feedback and all that. Like,
well, fortunately, this was through Shortbox, so there's
a lot of protection there.
I've had good, I've had good luck on both for the most part, but
yeah, I haven't had a bad experience yet, knock on wood.
Actually,
but I'm still
the most interesting experience I'm having right now is I'm having an experience with a company called I'll call them out because hell, they don't fucking pay it. Black Saber Comics.
What is that?
It's some online retailer. They apparently don't have a brick and mortar location because they don't. I wouldn't
trust anybody that names their business after the Disney Star Wars. That's just
because they don't have a phone number on their site. But they had an exclusive. They had some exclusives that I wanted.
Were they Transformers?
Yeah, and so I had ordered them, and they were the only place that had them. And I don't know if they're somewhat in your neck of the woods ish. So I don't know if they were affected by the hurricane because all of a sudden all their social media stuff stopped, like right around that same time.
Took the bag and ran, bro.
But ultimately, what's funny is like, so I'm waiting and it didn't come. So I finally the other day I filed a dispute with my credit card because I was getting towards an end of a period of time where, like, look, I can't wait on these. I'd already tried outreaching these guys via email, via Facebook, via Instagram, via their chat on their website, all kinds of things, no answers, blah, blah, blah. And so I filed a dispute with my credit card. My credit card company got back to me yesterday with a note saying, oh, they've responded. And they're filing back saying, no, that my dispute isn't valid. And their whole thing of everything that they sent was basically proof that I made the transaction, but nothing about shipping or anything else. And so, do you want to continue your pursuit? I'm like, absolutely. I want to continue my dispute.
I want to double down now. Actually,
I said everything that they provided is proof that I made the transaction. I am not disputing that I placed an order for these books. I'm disputing that they've delivered them. They provided zero proof or evidence that they shipped the books or anything else. Matter of fact,
these people haven't been posted on IG since August 8th.
Right. I said, even here, if I click on my order, it shows the order details are still pending or haven't shipped. So, but yeah, they just all of a sudden just in August, they just stopped everything. But yet they're willing to go ahead and file. No, we want this guy's money because he placed an order. And for what the fuck?
You should make a video on that.
Oh, when it's all said and done, probably. But I want to get to the resolution first.
Like they stopped their social media 2 months before the hurricane hit. That was the end of September when the hurricane hit.
Okay. Yeah. So who knows?
Orders high. Did you get my packages yet? I asked you. You need to know because they were supposed to be there yesterday. You're still there.
I think people are always going to lowball people. There's always going to be those people. I don't do that when well, that's not true. I give a respectable lowball offer. I'm not just insulting people. I feel like they're insulting me with their sticker prices, so that they set the precedent, not me. They have good sticker prices, then I approach it differently.
True.
Or like that guy I was talking about with a ghostwriter, who when I start a conversation, they start acting like someone's stupid for not thinking their price is the fair market price. That's when you say things like, yo, we all have the internet, homie. I was thinking about this while I was naked, showering and scrubbing all my sexy bits. One, would you trade 99.9% of my collection for one or two big keys? Dude, I would trade 100% of your collection for any key, like even a small key. I don't give a shit.
Sounds like any
collection.
key is necessary.
I'll trade it for a first appearance at Doomsday.
He's like, oh, if I'm trading with somebody else's money, sure.
No, but to answer your question, I don't know. I've thought about that before. Would you trade every comic you have for like an Action 1 or an AF-15, which those two are way different in prices? But I think most people in their right mind, not everybody, but most people would trade all they had for an Action 1. The price difference would kind of force your hand to need to do it. It'd be irresponsible not to, but I wouldn't trade my whole PC for like an AF-15. Hell no. And not because it's Spider-Man, but just because there's not a big enough price difference between my PC and that AF-15 to justify doing that with how much work's gone into my PC. No
Yeah,
way.
you've got a really nice PC though.
That's what I'm saying. The price difference has to be astronomical.
Yeah.
Because it isn't just the straight up FMV of your collection. You look at it, and as soon as you look at it, there's not one person who doesn't immediately start having memories. I got that book here. This book goes there. This is that. This is, that. So there's a lot more than simply the fair market value.
I struggle with that question, man, because I think to myself, yeah, I could do that. And then I look at my comic books and go, oh, I can't get rid of that. I don't want to get rid of that. And well, that means a lot to me, so I don't want to get rid of that. So I don't know.
Well, Boar, if you come up with a reprint that I don't have, deal.
Good morning, Justin.
Good morning.
Let's see, we have our hair
Well,
out today.
Hello there.
Hello.
It would be much easier to rebuild my collection than it would to save up for a giant key. Yeah, but that's the thing. Some people it would be, some people it wouldn't be. Man, I don't know. And so many of my,
you would trade 99% of your PC for my Grail, then why don't you do that?
Scott said I would trade 99% of my PC.
You got to find somebody who's willing to take your collection.
Heritage auction.
No. I mean, if you're doing trade, you got to find somebody who's willing to take all that stuff in exchange for your piece. But
yeah, Scott said he would do it for. Scott said he would trade his entire warehouse. Y'all know his PC's housed in a warehouse. He would trade it for a more fun.
He said 99% of it.
Yeah, well, there's a couple books in his house, I'm sure.
He's probably going to keep the bunny mask original art. So. and that Sergeant Fury versus the Commandant Cancer. His book is More Fun 52, Biggie. Scott, his Grail is the first appearance of the Spectre. He was at Heroes Con last year with a plan to hopefully get one. It didn't play out. I don't think he found one. Dude, I don't think there was a More Fun 52 there. That's like a legitimate Grail. Like, you see more Action Comic 1s than you see More Fun 52 all day. I will say, because of him, my eyes are. I've seen in the last couple months, I've seen a couple, either people displaying their copy or, a big. Like, I think there was one recently at Heritage or something, but it's just, I see it and I just blows my mind every single time.
Biggie says that Doc has one coming, Rob.
Wow.
Biggie, I sent you the link too, buddy. If you're free to hop on, just throwing that out there.
That's
you
crazy.
also have to calculate all the time it will take to sell that AF-15 and require all the books you traded away. Well, if that's even the goal, though, are you going to trade your PC for a grail and then keep said grail while rebuilding up your PC as you move forward? We know what Justin Birch would do, and he did it. He got rid, but luckily for him, he has more than one collection. He has comic collections. At the time, he had toy collections. So he offloaded an entire collection and bought an AF-15.
I couldn't justify owning a comic book like that. I'd have to sell it and start a whole brand new life. Like,
just get a house.
Yeah, like seriously, I could not justify having $1 million comic book. I couldn't do it. Be like, okay, I better sell this so I can have a house and a car.
Justin, what was your thoughts on
what's everyone's end goal for the comic books? Like, you're on your deathbed, you're about to die. Like, are you gonna want your coffin lined with some slabs, or do you want to pass those on, or would you hope that they've been like passed on to another collector by then, or did you want to gift them to
just as long as it's a huge inconvenience for the family that I have that remain alive, I'm good. So outside of that,
leave it all fucked.
Just as long as they're inconvenienced, I'm good.
As long as they don't turn around and put them take my wall down and go put it at a garage sale for $5.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to happen.
That's why I periodically take the kids over and go, hey, just for your reference, because this will be your problem someday. This is this much. This is this much. This is much. Don't put it out for $5 a book. I think my son's response was that, oh, so $10 a book then? Thanks. Fuck.
Yeah, this is what my dad has said his whole life, jokingly, that he wants a Viking funeral on his books, which isn't the reality, but
so
in all sincerity,
arrow and like
to answer your question in all sincerity, I hope and pray that one or more of my children maintain a passion for this hobby through their life in some form or fashion, and the collection maintains. Like, it's going from my dad to me, and all three of my kids are like too really young to know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're all into stuff at the ages they're at, but you really won't know till later. But one thing I want to consider as I get older, if I'm blessed enough to make it, to try to think of some way where it isn't necessarily a burden on their property, because comic books are a burden on property.
So you asked the question, will I trade my collection for an Action Comics #1? That was the question?
That was 30 minutes ago. She's asking, what are you going to do with your PC when you die? What's your plan for your PC post-mortem?
Whatever the family wants to do with it, it's up to them. I'm with you. After a certain time, it's all dependent on how they feel about the books. I know firsthand that my kids don't give a damn. They're not.
How old are they?
They're not interested.
So I mean, I ain't trying to be nosy, but maybe they'll grow into it.
My kids are old enough that they won't.
No, get nosy. You're on the right stream. We get nosy over here. How old are your children? What's their social?
One's going to be 20 this year. How's that for you?
So we got one close to the same age. I got one going to be 18 this year.
Yeah. So my daughter's going to be my oldest is going to be 20. My youngest is going to be 15, and they don't have desire for comic books. They like the industry. Don't get me wrong. I think they like comic books. They love the movies and the TV shows and all that stuff. But the physical medium of comics, it's not for them.
You know what might be for them though?
Well,
when they're at an age could potentially start looking at like their life starting, finding a spouse, getting married, and maybe if they find a spouse that's into them or sees the value in them.
It's all dependent on the spouse, right? Too.
Yeah.
Because
maybe they get to the point where like, man, I want a place of my own. Sure wish Dad'll croak so I can inherit that collection.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So one of the first couple questions on the first date has to include like, how do you really feel about comic book collecting?
Yeah.
How would you feel if I was like fanatical about comic book collecting?
What do you know about paper hoarding?
Yeah. So the other thing is then there's my wife. So my wife is the first person, the first beneficiary, because I already made the note that I'm going out first. We've had this conversation. I know I'm going out first. So she knows firsthand what to do with the collection, right? She has already an idea what to do with the collection. Okay. And she's willing. She knows firsthand if she's going to keep the collection, if she's not going to keep the collection, she at least knows what's the price for the collection, if that makes sense.
That's good.
You know, and we're not talking about, you know, dollar for dollar, because we know dealers are not going to do that. But she knows what it's gonna what's its value at the end of the day, and she'll definitely keep some tokens. You know what I mean? Like the wall books, she knows that the wall books.
What is her plan for offloading them? Because in a short answer, like if an accident were to happen to me today, Kyle has Pops. Pops, there's it's done. Like you already have a comic guy in the family. If Pops isn't here and I go, the current plan is to contact DJ, Rob, and Nick. That's what my wife knows to do. So like she actually, here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not my wife being left holding a bag kind of thing.
Yes,
I love how everyone has like in case of emergency.
Yeah,
you know, in comic emergencies, call this person and this person.
Well, legitimate, because this is a lot of money for my family, and it's a large burden, and it's not something that she needs to be worried about tackling. And there's people like my dad who already exists, and say if he doesn't, there's people like DJ, Rob, and Nick who I'm good enough friends with that like she can trust, that she knows she can trust, and it won't be a burden for her because they're good enough people to help her out or find a way to, you know what I mean? And for comic people, as sad as it might be to lose somebody, it's still comics. You're still happy to do it.
Yeah. No, for her, she knows it's Josh is the guy.
There you go.
For us, it's Josh because he's a dealer already. So it's like easy. You
gotta have a point person for your
so she'll know it'll be Josh. We know plenty of people in the industry, you know, that work in the industry in some way or another through different avenues. So
ever.
What's your end game, Rob, for everything? You've amassed a nice collection behind you there.
Why is there going to be an end game?
I'm just saying. Oh well, newsflash.
You think I'm going to have an end?
Well, here's a good way. Like, you know, Pops.
Are you and my wife in cahoots to plot something I don't know about? I mean,
how much is your life insurance at?
A lot.
Oh, my wife definitely have asked that question.
Now we're asking the real questions.
Like ask before people climb up on ladders and stuff. You know, like what's that life insurance at again?
I don't have an end game. It just isn't. None of my kids don't give a shit about it. You know, at the end of the day, at some point I may get tired of it and I may get rid of it on my own, or I may, you know, have it all and you know, somebody else will have to deal with it, you know.
So you got hit by a bus tomorrow, your whole family's stuck with it. What do you think they're gonna do?
They're gonna freaking find a way to liquidate it in mass and take what they can and run. I'm sure.
I want to put it on the record.
They're not gonna piece it out.
What I see in Rob's future, like while most of us are still around, what's going to happen with Rob's future is he's going to get to a point where all these modern 1 in 10 variants and retailer variants and all these countless books he sends to get graded that look cool shit. He's going to get to a point where he looks at him. He's like, why the fuck did I buy all these? And he's going to start hosting out of sheer laziness what's called Rob's Garage Con. That way he doesn't have to transport his books to anywhere, and people will come to him, creating more space in his garage, creating money for him to buy less books that mean more to him. And it's going to be a good time.
You're not far off. because I did just recently go through, and I was like going through a box of slabs, and I was like, oh, I don't need these. These aren't what I want. Well, these aren't my thing. I mean, they're cool because they're like limited, like to 600 or whatever. Yes. But
Lady Fantastic got the second part. We're gonna do Garage Con in July, so people can.
Garage Con
you stay for the week, not the weekend, and you get the meat sweats on the first weekend, and you're pretty much bed rest for 3 days from attending Rob's barbecue. But if you make it to the next weekend, you're rewarded with comic sales.
Yeah, but I did pull a bunch of books out, and I did actually just list a bunch of books up on eBay, where I just said, you know, because they're not anything special or whatnot. And I was like, starting bid, you know, put them up for auction, to end on today where they're starting at $25 a slab. I'm just like, oh, here you go. This is what they're all, because they're PGX slabs. They're all 9/8 modern variants, limited prints to like 600 or something. But it's like, you know what, for $25, somebody might be interested in taking a flyer on it. And here you go. Just go.
Justin,
Well, I'm going to get buried with all my comics in a giant.
Are you, Matt?
Like the Egyptians, yeah.
Out of your
Like the
cold dead
Egyptians.
hands.
Or under them.
Yeah.
Just
The
dig a
wall.
hole, throw a mat in it, just
One or
push
the
it.
other.
It's a
No,
whole
no,
new slab, isn't
Be
it?
putting a
You
box
know?
of comics up and the whole shelf will come down. And
If only you
Yeah.
could have yourself slabbed, postmortem.
no.
There,
That would
Darth.
be kind of creepy.
Just
Yeah.
look like Han Solo.
This is what goes through my mind. I'm sorry. Justin, what's your end game for all your stuff?
I don't know. I didn't know that I was old enough that I had to think about it.
How old are you?
There you go.
I'm 27. I've just
Younger people have died.
terribly.
Younger people.
Horrible deaths too. Just young. I mean, they just drop dead too from embolisms and stuff.
Justin,
like
with that hairdo, you're 50, dude. You're at least 50.
I'm
And
used to being the
caveman
most
years
shaggy
ago.
looking person, but fucking Justin's giving me a run for my money right now.
That's
Biggie, what are you gonna do with your collection?
Was you still going, Justin? I'll wait till he's done. What was you going to say, bud?
My goal in life is to make everybody feel better about themselves by comparison.
Oh, okay. Well, I can take my cap off, but I'm a little shy. What's my end goal? I got like 3 or 4 books that I know are like humanly impossible for me to replace at a certain amount of money. So I would hope that they would keep those. They were like gifts to me, But the rest of them, like I only got like 200 or 300 books that are seriously worth considering. What do you do with them? And the rest of the shit, like I don't fucking care. I got them like my better books and top loaders and Mylars. They know which boxes have the better books. They know what to do. And then I kind of got like a core group that would handle it if something would happen. Like D84 and Doc might help a little bit. So that's about it.
I have another question for everybody in the chat too. Now, for some reason you have to leave your house and you can only grab one comic you own. Which one are you grabbing?
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's got to be a box.
you're
You
there,
can't just
you're
say one book.
To think about it, okay?
Yeah,
Second,
I'm with Biggie on that. It would never be one book. It would always be a short box at least.
No, you only have room for one because you have multiple kids in your other hand. You got
I
don't have any kids.
Impending
Those kids can
disasters
fend for
coming.
themselves.
We reject your hypothetical and we're offended you asked.
You
That's an easy one though.
You imply the kids have greater value.
Yeah.
You know how like the
That's
You'd
crazy.
be like, listen, Finn, you're going to be carrying some comics out, all right?
All I know is the kids have been a
Put
greater
your bink
expense
down
than
and
I
hold
call
the comic.
Get to work,
Each
children.
kid
Here,
get a
grab
box
a
of
snack
comics.
and go.
All right,
No,
kids,
there's
grab a
got to be
box.
one. There's got to be one special one that above them all, like one ring should rule them all. What's your one book that you have?
So
I don't know.
This hypothetical is already assuming that the wife, the children, and the dog are out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you get to go back in for one more comic, and that's
Okay. Does it have to be a comic? Because
Yes.
the first
Yes.
thing I'm grabbing is my hard drives.
no, it's got to be a comic. We're talking comics only.
Which kid? Which kid
Requirements
lives?
specifically said you can only go
Which
back
kid
with a
lives?
comic within your hand.
Okay. Can I take both kids in with me and they
No.
can grab a comic as well?
No.
Got to if you
Why
take
not?
both kids in, you got to leave one to bring comics.
Let's do it for sacrifice one.
Just kidding.
Seems like an easy decision.
If you had to trade a kid in for store credit, which kid would get you the most credit?
How many comics is one kid worth to you?
Which kid gets you the most credit?
Probably
What's
the
the
smartest
kid loves
ones,
you the
they're gonna
most?
I would say
probably
the
use
cute
for
ones.
slave labor. So
The cute ones. Sorry, my parents don't need. They don't know a thing. They're gonna give it all away as soon as I die.
I'm giving all of my. In seriousness, I'm giving it all to my little nephew.
Oh, that's sweet.
I figure I won't be able to afford life when I'm retired, so I'll just sell a couple books every month and just sort of pay the bills.
It's really realistic of you, Beaker.
Yeah, I'm pretty realistic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was just like you said with the AF-15. You're fucking paying shit off. Like I would have done if I had an AF-15. I'd sell that shit and take the cash.
Yeah, man, big thing.
It's all depending on the
I'm
circumstances,
still
right?
waiting, Justin, for one.
No, not for
Is
me.
that
I
what
don't
I'm doing
care
now?
about Spider-Man.
Yes, I just want to know.
I think most people with the collection could get any Silver Age girl they want, but them Golden Age girls, that's like tenfold any Silver Age book. So
Yeah, you're right.
that's like Tech 27, Action 1, Marvel 1, Flash 1's pretty good. Those books are worth 10 of your collections, I'd
And I
say.
mean, like they're as good as gold because they're so rare.
There you go. Stephanie, can an AR have Dr. Octopus arms in this scenario so he can grab multiple?
No.
That might be helpful in this.
Don't
case.
go gadget arms. No. DJ Link says he'll be grabbing his AF-15 that has the biggest resale value.
There you go.
So
You could rebuild a collection by resale. You could sell that one.
See?
And then
At
rebuild
least
your
he
collection on
knows.
that
At
one.
least he'll be able to grab one and quickly.
Yeah.
What's your
I thought he was a Hawk guy, though. This one, the Hawk?
DJ, is your AF-15 slabbed? And if it is,
Yes.
off the grade. What
slabbed.
grade?
It's a 3.0.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a bitch! I got a 7.
I
though.
think it was a 3.0.
Just kidding.
Was it a 3.0, DJ? Or
I got an AF-16 if that matters.
Probably a 4 or 5. Hey, did you guys know there was another key factor to AF-15 besides first Spider-Man?
Mm-mm.
I just learned this, so I could be wrong.
First
Spider-Man
on bed,
1.
Death of
It's
the bed.
It's the last issue of Amazing Fantasy.
yeah. Yes, it was a 3.0.
Mr. Stacks knows his grades.
Yep.
He knows his neighbor's grades. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's grades.
Yeah, we got the flyer already set up for Rob's con, so
There you go.
PG man.
Yeah.
I think it's good to keep your collection to a reasonable amount of books. Like people that have like 30,000 comics and shit. Like that's a pretty big burden. But I got around like 5 or 6.
But it's depending on that collection, right? So if your collection, your collection is a reader's collection, it's best to just get rid of it.
And it
You know what I
depends
mean?
on how you collect. Like if you're a run collector, you like me, you probably don't have shit.
Maybe my goal is when I get ready to retire, I can just go to some of the local cons and table and just start selling it.
Well, that's what I've done. I've gone to local cons and I sold my comics at well below fair market value.
Listen to Phil. He says, I have the O Sugar box ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
No, he calls it the O Sugar box.
Rob,
You can't have enough comics
grabbing?
if you sell comics online though. You can't have enough.
Online's a pain in the
Get new
ass.
stuff
But,
in.
I mean, it is allow you to whatnot allows you to move volumes of stuff. But I mean, I know that
Online is
the most,
challenging if you don't have inventory. You have to have inventory for online.
That's right.
I mean, look, from raw book standpoint, I got so much inventory, but it's all there's a lot of it that's just not, in order to move it in volume, you're moving it for next to nothing. The slabs are obviously where the value's at, and I've been trying to keep myself, and that's where like my most recent sales, I try to keep myself to just under 1,000 slabs, and so we're teetering on that edge again. So but that's I've told my wife, I said, look, here's where you can see what the kind of the report you can run. It will give you like the market value. I said, if you can get close to that for what the slabs are, if you can get close to the market value for the entire collection, where basically you're giving them the 10,000 raws for free, take it and run.
Okay, so say your wife is running back in for you. What comic is she gonna take?
I don't like all of this doom planning that you're doing.
Justin's heartbeat.
I'm just
It's
curious.
making us nervous, madam.
about the psyche of everyone's most.
I don't
coveted
understand
comic.
how it is I can come to this wall and only grab one book.
You're gonna
You-
have to. You
no
only
way.
have one.
Rules.
Rules. This is
Well,
what you gotta
usually
do. You only have one hand that's.
I
done one
reject your reality and substitute my own.
What if you got like burnt and you only have a nub for one hand, and so you can only
No,
use
come
one
on,
hand?
Rob.
I have large hands. I can grab more than one.
So you can grab like a stack,
A fat stack. You might say.
fat stack.
There you go.
Look at Biggie. That's a one, Biggie. That's a banger. That's what I.
Yeah, I love looking at this one for some reason. No, I think Fat Stacks is right though. You to think that we're like feeble or weak enough that we can only carry one comic is absurd. We could carry at least 100 comics.
But check out this commission that I got coming.
There's at least 3 slabs in each
Look at
hand,
this. Look at this.
Oh wow.
That's
Nice.
that's where
I
my
never did that. Loads.
Yeah.
that.
that's a commission that I have going with Locke. It's the Sinister Six.
Colors, man. He did a
That
great
is
job.
badass.
Yeah. Let me see if I can make it even bigger or not. But
And is that in your possession yet, Rob?
it won't go any bigger in this. Oh, you know what? Because I'm sharing. Let me share a different screen. Hold on. I had it on a different window.
I probably have to grab my
You have slab issues
my
with
Spotlight
Australian,
5.
Rob?
If I only could grab one comic, it
There
would
you
have to be my Spotlight 5. I
Oh,
guess.
the one
That'd
that
be the
There you go. That's the zoomed in version. That's
the
better.
Ghost Rider that
I like what he did with Octopus's
Yeah, and he's got like
That's dope.
Electro's got his he's one hand is webbed down to the ground, and so he's got like these different webbing things going on. But yeah, to get the whole Sinister Six in there, and
I noticed that he swapped Electro and Mysterio.
no, Mysterio's back there.
No, but wasn't Mysterio in Electro spot originally?
No, not on the pencil sketch. No,
That's what
but when he had I mean, so he maybe when you're thinking of back to his original like preliminary in his notebook.
Yeah, that's
I'll grab it.
Oh, in his
I got it
notebook,
right here.
sure, yeah. But I mean, this is but yeah, no, this was I was like, oh man, can you even do a Sinister Six on the cover fighting Spider-Man? And, you know, to get to 7 characters, it's just like, freaking insane.
That's
Why not?
awesome. Can I say one thing about that I wish was different though?
Sure.
Here we go.
Really mean of me.
You're
I
just
don't care.
full of good stuff this morning, aren't you?
What?
You're just
Yeah.
full of good stuff this morning, aren't you? So if you guys were gonna die, which comic books would you? So which if your house was burning down, which comic? Would you? So can I just say one thing that I don't like about
If you had to
that?
choose which child lived, who would you pick?
All right, here you go, madam. Beat it
Sophie's
up.
choice.
Killing it this
No, I'm
morning.
not beating it up. I just wish that the fantasy would you could see the F and the A, or you know.
Oh no, I don't need that. I like it when they ignore the trade dress or go over it or incorporate trade dress into something. This is fine. I mean, I know what it says and I don't care what it says. It's just
You know, she's
amazing,
She's right.
Nancy.
She's right. I'm here for the trade dress, not the art.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Justin.
I know,
You know, the
it's
trade dress
it is
should have been
somebody had to letter that, and we're covering once again. The letterer is getting fucking shafted by the art.
To be fair, how old is the letter of that trade dress? He's probably dead.
Does say amazing and
Because
tasty.
that's
Right?
Amazing Fantasies trade dress. So that person that created that trade dress is now gone, and now you cannot help their families because they're gone and they sold their collection out to their families,
Oh,
and now they can't get the royalties from that trade dress.
Ugh.
tough shit.
Am I supposed to feel bad now?
Either way, it looks great. Locke did a great job.
Yeah. Other than that, it looks dope.
Other than that,
No, I'm serious. Like other than the fact that I wish I could.
I want
You
to
have
go to
you
Locke's
have your
channel.
preference. I have
I'm
mine.
impressed. Like it looks.
I want
Other
you to
than
go
the
to
fact
his
I wish it
IG, and I
looked
want you to say,
different, it looks
man,
really
it looks great, but that trade dress, man, you messed up the trade dress.
Loke, don't listen to her, bro. Don't listen to her, bro. You did all right.
Oh, man.
You're a horrible person.
You're not a horrible person. You're just an honest person.
You're just an artist. You have an opinion.
Crazy.
Just a sculptor. Oh man.
Hitting all the nerves. Love it.
That's too much.
Rob, I know you go in and you get a Shogun or something, right? What would you go in?
Easy. I got a Vietnamese Jeff here.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy Jeff.
Fucking Jeff. Jesus
I got all
Christ.
kinds of stuff yesterday though. Check us out this stuff.
My boy Jeff.
God damn it with that fucking the land shark.
Leave him
I
alone.
agree.
He
I
didn't do
agree.
anything to you.
Bleak, you just don't like
Ooh,
little
that's a good
creatures.
one. The New Gods.
Because you were goddamn in Grogu too. You don't like the little ones. You don't like them little
Well,
creatures
that's fair.
freak you
That might
out.
be true.
Probably
might
don't
be
like Mogwai either, do you?
No, he's all right. He's great.
Jeff is gonna save this industry.
Well, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
You don't need to put on
You don't think that's a possibility?
No.
I think it's a very strong possibility.
Stop it.
Quick, trading your Action Comics 1. It's time to get your Jeff.
Oh my god.
What I mean is I could see Jeff getting an animated series someday, and it's gonna be like a Disney Kids channel thing. So what ends up happening is that's gonna get the next generation of kids into comic books, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's already happened with Miss Marvel, Squirrel Girl, and Moon Girl and Devil
And Jeff is gonna take care of the 3-year-olds.
Okay.
3-year-olds, okay.
Let the indoctrination start early.
Yes.
As the father of a 3-year-old,
And you're doing that, aren't you?
I can tell you that yes.
I probably do that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you got the Terry Dodson ones.
I got a fusion one.
He picked up a
I
bunch
got
of
an
Santana.
Italian Captain
Ooh,
America.
look at La Bomba de Filon.
Is he Captain America if he's Italian? Captain America, Italian American?
Captain
Yeah,
America.
there you go.
Technically, is especially in the movies, it's more like Captain Puerto Rico, 1 star.
There you go. That's what I'm talking. By the way, in case you guys are interested, the tickets went on sale for the movie.
Captain Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Captain Puerto
well,
Rico.
Captain Puerto
the
Rico.
suit.
In a brave new world.
If you guys could see a whole new movie about a whole new character that's
We
never
call
been made
Captain Puerto
before,
Rico
who would it be?
first rate.
If we could see a movie about a character that's never been made before,
It hasn't been made yet, but it's just an existing character in the comic world. Which movie would you like
well,
to see?
Jeff
I'm
the
on the
Land
Lobo
Shark
train.
Would you
returns.
say Bleeker?
I'm on the Lobo train, but that's coming. So we're
It's in
happy.
the making.
Lobo's gonna take a while.
That's fine.
I feel like all of these hypothetical questions would be best asked later at night after we've all had a few.
You look like you still have
Justin, you need more coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Yeah,
You
neither do I.
need a cup of coffee.
I don't eat shit.
Coffee in the big time.
Yeah. Need a haircut.
I feel you. I don't
We
drink
can all
coffee.
I say we all come next week with our hair like cavemen in Justin's honor.
So we all wear our hair like Rosanna Anadana here in Lady Fantastic Pick.
Oh, damn. New season of There's a new season of the Harley Quinn animated show now?
What?
I didn't realize there was a new season of the Harley Quinn animated show that started up.
Yeah.
It started yesterday.
When Creature Commando ended, they said it was gonna start up.
Oh,
Started
damn.
yesterday.
All right.
Etrigan.
My weekend entertainment is set then.
Ooh.
Etrigan serves as a side character. Let's be honest.
But he's a cool side character.
Kind of like you, right?
Where is he from?
Oh, I don't mind being a side character. I don't get all the attention on me, so I'm okay with that.
Hey, I got a side character.
Dracula, you made a beautiful drawing. I voted for you.
Put him in a movie. I like
He does
Orion.
make beautiful drawings. That's true.
Is it nice?
Excuse me.
Bless you.
One more.
I
One
already-
more from the road.
I already said it once. You don't get any more.
Sorry. What's me this morning?
Oh, I ain't no
Never
boy
seen
wonder.
all this more.
Taylor. Boy wonder.
God damn it. Justin looks like he's about to react.
Drax says, "Thanks, madam."
So Justin needs a lab coat. That's what you need.
Wait, if I reanimate a corpse, how many comic books can they carry out?
A few.
Hey, now you're
One.
thinking.
I'll give you one
That's a lot of corpse.
because it's probably not going to be functioning very well.
My dolls, my dollies. Aren't you boys jealous of my little girl dollies?
Cool.
Captain
No.
Puerto Rico right there.
Yes, you are. You all need a doll.
I'm not jealous of that at all.
You are jealous. You want them so bad, Bleak. I can see the desire in your eyes. You're like, it's burning me.
You can see the marijuana in my eyes, maybe.
They just went cross-eyed. Sorry. Yeah, I thought that was like too much.
Show me something I'll be jealous of. Show me something I'd be jealous of, though. I want to see.
All right. Oh, wait. Sorry.
No.
What
You sit
happened
the
there?
fuck down.
Would you be
What
jealous of
just
that?
happened?
You may not be jealous of that. That may not be your flavor.
No. It's gonna be need. Show me a Biggie. Show me a Biggie Shack book.
That's a better book.
Oh,
That's-
Biggie
wait,
Shack.
wait, go back, Lady F. Go back.
Oh
Let me
my
see that
God.
signature.
I got that book. That's
Oh my
amazing.
God, Robin was hilarious.
I like
It's
that
signed
one.
by Bill and remarked with the main
Oh,
antagonist.
that's awesome.
Wow,
That's a
that's
good
really
book.
signed and
Hey,
drawn
draw
on.
Invincible's
very
dad
nice.
on there.
Bill
Very
Sienkiewicz.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So there's that. A Biggie book. Okay. I think Biggie would
Give me a
like
Biggie book.
this book right here.
Give me a banger, baby.
Approve of Biggie.
There we go. Now we're
Biggie
talking.
likes Defenders. He would
Neil
approve of
Adams
the Neil
cover.
Adams cover.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I think Biggie would be about this. Biggie would be about.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'd be about that. I would say that Biggie would probably be about. He'd probably be about like first
Oh.
Wendigo.
First Wendigo, yeah.
I'm about ready to get that one actually.
I just
Yeah.
love. I just love how they put the shadow on Wendigos. You know.
Yeah, that one-
I like
Crotch
the
area.
tail. I like the tail, the curly tail.
that's actually his cock.
And
It's going backwards.
I got this one from the Tone from the Hunt. Big probably dig this is a 2-Gun Kid. It's prototype to Black Panther.
Nice.
And also got some.
That's the prototype Black Panther, yeah.
Yeah, it's a prototype Black Panther, and
That
then
kid was from the Wild Wild West and carried a 6-shooter.
that's
His name
right.
is called 2-Gun Kid, so he has to have 2 guns.
Yeah, well,
He does.
technically, his
And he
third
got-
is hanging. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
think that was common, like in back in the day, that you would want to have a couple
Yeah, I mean,
because once one runs out, it's a
So what he has to do
for
when
a
he drops his
6-shooter,
gun.
you want to be able to whip
and
another
then
one. out.
I got these last two. These are Defenders prototypes, and so
Mhm.
Submariner 35 and 30 or 34 and 35.
Nice.
So the
Wow.
proto Defenders. And so those are also some ones, but those are the only ones I got on me that Biggie might approve of. He's a
I
very
dig it.
discriminating fella.
I know. I appreciate it. I just want to
Alright.
see something.
No more little creatures for you. I won't show you a Jeff ever again.
No, please don't.
There's
show me any-
nothing wrong with Jeff.
Yeah.
Who is
I
that
think
guy?
it's
Who
Bleach
keeps saying that?
Pretty cool.
Me, Izzy. Don't hate on Jeff. Good peoples.
I don't know. I think he gets annoyed. I don't think he likes Jeff very much.
That's
like
the
Jeff.
shark, and he lives on the land.
I got some
Yeah.
pretty cool ones I just got yesterday.
Show us, man.
He just he loses every game of Marco Polo though because he's always a fish out of water.
Yeah.
He's definitely a fish out of water.
Damn it! Why am I laughing at that?
Because you're a dad.
Yeah.
Papa jokes.
What have I become? I've become what I hate the most.
Marvel won't do shit with Jeff.
That's
So-
a Cubert. I approve of that.
So you
I'm
think
guessing.
Swamp?
Look at
That's
What?
scary.
Weird war with
Alan Morris.
That is a very interesting looking cover. I've never seen that cover before.
That'll give you nightmares.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Now we're talking.
Now that's a lot. Wait, that's a lot of text in that page.
I got that one. That's a cool
Cool.
one.
That's
Phantom
cool.
Stranger and Dead Man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Black Canary. Cool.
Some Copper DC goodness. Oh,
Oh hell yeah!
that's pre-Kirby.
House
It's
of
a good one.
Beautiful.
Old school.
10 cents.
Yeah. And this is just a reprint. I like that one. So I
Same.
just want to read it again.
I've
I
got
got
that
this
one
glow in the
too.
dark Joe and Andy Cooper, glow in the dark.
Oh wow.
Mm.
And I got this Bernie Wrightson. It's you ever heard of the Masterwork series from DC?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think this is here. I've got to get this one out. This I think George Perez did this one. It's a I'll look it up. Wraparound.
Nice.
It's beautiful. Will you hold it open like the whole?
The whole splash.
Where's white gloves when you need them?
Wow.
Love it.
I love it
200
too. It
issues.
seems lightweight for George Perez, though. It's like, yeah, he probably did that in an hour.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's good
The
stuff.
letter guy is working on this one.
That one too.
Powers transferred to reporter girl. Ew.
That's
I
a
think it's
good
the
one
first
to do patrol.
Grant Morrison. I think it's his
That
first
is a
book.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the whole run of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow yesterday.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I mean, it's not the cover A, but I do have,
But it's that whole eight
Yeah.
issue run.
Cover A is
phenomenal
actually
story.
not that expensive, though. It's a $20 book.
About $10.
Super Team Family.
I just got that the other day. That's number 2. I
think I
think.
showed
I don't
these
know.
already.
Maybe not.
I like
I
that.
think this is a reprint of that whole story, the first story. And I got that one, and I got this Adam Hughes Batgirl for like $3.
Hell yeah.
That's a big book.
wait,
Yeah.
come on. Was that a newsstand? Come show me that again.
This one, I don't know if it's a newsstand.
No, the Batgirl. Yes, it is. Oh shit! Look at you, bro. A doozy.
And I got this facsimile. It's not the real one, but it's shiny.
That's not the original.
Looks like it. Looks like
I think it's worth more because it's shiny.
Yeah.
That's a
I also agree because I have that one, so I'm in full agreement with Biggie on that.
So would you trade everything for that one book?
That's an Al Milgram.
For $5,000
This is
bucks.
kind of a reader copy of this one, but then I got some. It's not wrote. The book's not wrote on, but I got some of those 2-in-1s.
Oh, those are nice.
I like that one. Valkyrie's bad, but
Yeah, those are great.
yeah, those are the early ones.
This is a good team. I like this one, Vision, and the thing.
I like Vision.
And then we got Spider-Man and Wonder Man.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Right.
I got a whole lot of stuff. That's just half of what I got yesterday. It's crazy.
Damn, bro.
Looking good, man. Looking good.
Crushing it.
Yeah, Biggie. I was thinking like you should do an all Kubert, like the Kubert family episode. That'd be crazy cool. And you just bring nothing but Kubert boy art.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Here's a couple of books I took out to submit, just a few, nothing big.
70s Hulks are the best. I love 70s Hulks.
How's
Library.
all that Lobo talk.
Yeah.
Got that one.
The 20-cent Hulks are money.
This is a cool cover.
That's his breast. He's got his face smashed against his breast.
A little sexual there.
Is he motorboating? Is he motorboating Superman there?
Well, it's
Oh,
like he's
there you
trying
go.
to suckle or something.
Like that one?
Death in Action. That's great.
This
That's
is-
beautiful.
Yep, Jim Lee cover. And of course, I found this one.
Huh.
Found this
That's
one.
great.
Hey, look at you.
Look at this.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
it's a-
What Jim Chung, bro?
right there. Look at that.
Look at
that
you,
little cover right there.
bro.
Cool.
I got this for cover price when it came out.
You turd.
That book was so expensive. I picked a copy up recently for $40
It's not that much anymore.
You
It's
shouldn't
just
pay
not
any
that-
more.
anymore. And it's a good book to buy. There's so
Sit
many
on.
first appearances.
I
in
don't think it's
Sit on.
gonna. I
I
don't think the
don't
book
think
is
so.
gonna be a big book to begin with because now they're talking about champions instead of Young Justice.
It'll happen eventually. Don't worry about it. Just
No,
pick
but
it
they're
up.
gonna be called champions instead of Young
The
Justice.
writing is too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the writing.
They've
is
already
good.
laid the groundwork for most of those characters in the MCU
In the
movie.
yeah. We already
No,
have
but
the
what I'm
books
saying
in.
is they're not going to be called the Young Avengers.
They're just going to be called the champions. Yeah, I know. We got it.
Let me get inside of my Ziploc bag.
Oh,
Y'all fuck with Ziplocs?
Yo,
Oh,
you do.
Precious babies
I
in them.
store a whole lot of food in them.
Now that's
So
how you
this-
read books.
Other
It's
things,
like
you know?
in case of a
this book
flood or
has-
fire.
This book has my my death wishes on the back, so
I love it.
There's his will and testament.
I love it.
yeah,
Behind is Avengers 1. That's the
There
way.
you go.
yeah.
Spot
That's
for
like,
it. A good spot.
gotta
for it.
preserve the book, man.
Whole list of shit to do with it. There you go.
I love it.
That
That's
is
pretty cool.
So nobody gets confused.
It's a little plan.
I think your wife knows just to contact Doc. I would imagine, doesn't she?
Yeah, D and Doc. D's already told me he wants to take care of it. I'm like, well, let's get Doc and 84 involved too. But yeah,
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to head out. I got a serious day today, so I'm gonna have to do serious shit. in a minute.
That sounds
Ooh.
terrible.
So
I
sorry.
understand that. I got the same shit today. Fucking
Serious
pissed me off.
Romanian shit. Fucking
No. They've like fucking dumped the CFO dumped a project on me yesterday that is for this quarter, and it's a completely shit that like we're already in the quarter, partway through it, and so I got to come up to speed behind, and it has nothing to do with what I do.
awesome.
It's like this is my lane over here, and you're giving me a project to spearhead something over here. I don't
That's
know
what I'm doing
shit
today.
about.
Yeah. I get to
And I'm
do
like, oh,
that because they think
fuck.
I can do that too. And I'm like, okay, fuck you, I'll do it.
And I'm like, oh, wow, this is like, oh, it's my reward for 10 years of staying in my lane, and trying not to get promoted is that you fucking reward me with fucking something that's going to bring a high profile on me. So when I fucking fail, I'm fucking set up to get fucking shit canned.
Hey, good attitudes only because you are competent and capable, young man. Young man. All right, guys.
Give me a couple quarters, maybe.
I'm gonna give you a gold star, and you're gonna rock it.
Oh well, shit! If you're gonna give me a gold star and a smiley face too,
Maybe even with sprinkle, sparkle, glitters.
no, I'm not. I don't deserve that.
A lot.
There is a limit here, okay?
It's like, yeah, maybe a red star and some sparkles, but not a gold star and sparkles. I mean, come on.
You guys do this every Friday morning?
Yeah.
This off at this god
I'll
off.
give you a nickel. I'll give you a nickel.
Yeah.
Off. There you go.
And then I come on your stream.
It's less god awful if you're on the East Coast.
This is where everyone's the most vulnerable.
Nice.
But it's god awful for me for sure.
Yeah, didn't you say it was like 4:30 where you were when you started the stream? 4:30 in the morning.
Yes.
I think it was 7:00 where I am, or 7:30 maybe. So it's not
7:30 over here in the East Coast. Yeah.
not completely terrible, but oh my god.
Wake up in the morning. This is what you do on Friday morning.
Yeah, wake up at 3:45 for this show.
Wow, Rob, you really
That's
fucking
dedication there.
Good for you.
That's called commitment right
This,
there.
this is just a start to Rob's Marathon Fridays.
Yeah, because then I got my work, and then I got a show at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern that I'm on. It's
Yeah.
like a 2-hour show.
Rob, I was going to ask you about that. How many shows do you do?
Well, so I'm on right now. This show I usually show up on Chris's show. The low grades, and then I hang out with Spidey and his out. On Saturday. Those are the main ones. I mean, if DVH is doing his Parliament thing, if I have the opportunity, I'll join him on Saturday. Saturday is just a streaming day. But Sunday I generally don't show up on streams on Sunday. It's my day off from the YouTube for sure. And then just like regular church, I don't go to church. No offense, Bleecker, but I actually have tuned in on occasion while I'm like making breakfast, but I don't sit down and watch YouTube on Sundays. And then I don't Monday I try not to. Usually, but the only thing I'm doing with YouTube is just uploading my Monday video if haven't already done it. And that's why I haven't done Gary's 1011 in a long time, because I just don't have the bandwidth, and I try to cut back. I'm not trying not to be a stream whore necessarily, but
Yeah, I was
like to
thinking
hang
about
with my
that. I'm
friends.
like, I wonder how many shows Rob has.
Well, because I only have one that's on my channel that's a live stream, right? And then I have the 2 pre-recorded videos every week, and then Yeah, but yeah, no, these are mostly hangouts. So it's not like it requires me to have prepared show content, right? It's just kind of react stuff. So I don't go to the bar. I don't go hang out. This is where I socialize.
Right.
And since I deal with legal contracts all day long, it allows me to not deal with that type of stuff.
So you get to deal with stupid questions from me.
Well, there's stupid questions, and then there's questions that are probably impractical. But you know,
Well, come on, grabbing one.
hey,
That's not
you're being thought provoking and making people think about something and coming up with content to discuss. So fair play.
All right.
But to answer your question, if honestly, like literally, there was only one coming off, it's probably the ASM one. But
Okay.
just because it's
Yeah.
the most valuable
Okay.
of the books, but I mean, I still reject the notion that I couldn't grab other books next
So
to it.
say you could grab another one after that one. Which one would it be? Could you narrow it down right away?
Well, I mean, the three that are the jump out at me the most that I'd pick up off there are obviously the ASM one, the Avengers one, and the Brave and the Bold 28. Those are the top three books on the wall.
Pretty good.
What was the number 28 one?
Brave and the Bold, the first Justice League.
Yeah.
So first Justice League, first Avengers, first Spider-Man.
Okay.
You know, those are big books, and then you fall into things like, okay, first Ghost Rider, first Giant Size X-Men 1. You know, those are all other books that didn't come into play, but my Buck Rogers book, which is off screen, but.
I like that book that Legion got that I showed. What is it? From Strange Adventures, Legion. Refresh my memory. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's thinking.
What the hell's that guy's name?
Space Adventures, the Captain Atom.
Yeah, it's something like Captain Atom, but yeah, first Captain Atom. Is that it?
Yeah, Charlton Space Adventures. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get at a good price. You don't see it much out there.
Hell no, you don't. I got the first Silver Age Blue Beetle, and it's a Captain Atom book, but that's like a step up from that. That's like a even cooler one.
Out of the Charlton Keys, the Captain Atom's the toughest one to get. I've got all the other ones.
Right.
I was talking about it earlier. I picked up Blue Beetle #1 just on a whim walking by the last day of Heroes Con, because that's the first appearance of the Question. And then like Captain Atom issue whatever is the first Ted Cord Blue Beetle. And then Captain Atom issue whatever is the first Nightshade.
Yep.
Space Adventures versus Captain Atom.
That first Captain Atom's a motherfucker.
Titan 5 is the first Peacemaker.
Dude, I had that fucking book, bro. I sold it to get my GSX. Yeah,
I would help.
I had
but that's still not a bad.
It was fucking cool to find it. I was like, my antique shop only had a couple Fighting Fives, and I was like, Fighting 540's first Peacemaker? No shit. And I was like, I know that book's there. I paid $8, dude. It was like a fucking $400 book. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, that's another one of the ones that you just don't see it a lot. So it had like the perfect mix of things going on to be a significantly valuable book. You know, Peacemaker, he popped. Like that was a good casting, good outing, good interpretation of the character, reinventing him. And then the book isn't overly out there, you know. It's like a proper
the guy I sold it to actually had like 3 or 4 of them, so not many people have that book. Yeah.
Nice. I was able to trade my Justin Birch signed Arcade Kings for a French fry.
Whoa!
Justin Birch's grail bumps all over the place. Like I knew you had an X-Men 1, and did you get an AF-15, Justin?
I do have an AF-15.
You still got that
Guys,
one?
gotta
Okay.
go.
I would assume.
Easy.
Later, Izzy.
Yeah, as featured recently on Only Slabs.
Nice.
Did Bleecker answer what comic he run out with?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He
I
did?
got my Spotlight 5.
Okay, Spotlight 5.
Rob,
Yes.
What kind of French fry was it? A curly fry?
No, it was just it was a cold Burger King French fry.
Oh, that's a fair trade.
Yeah. I think it might have been like found between the seats of somebody's car or something, but it still seemed like a fair trade. Still seems like a fair trade to me.
So there's a penny stuck to it. Yeah, okay.
No little hair, but it's all right. It's just a little extra.
I got like 5. I couldn't really make my mind up.
Good, those fries don't. There's so many preservatives.
It's a partial footprint on it where it was.
Yeah, I'm more with you, Biggie. There's about 5 that I would try and grab, but the one for sure, Spotlight 5.
My 5 would be the Hulk 2 because it got AOK'd by like 30 people. That would be the most sentimental, and then the Avengers 1 because that cost me the most, and then my Timely Cap, my World's Finest 2, and my Superman 23 would be the 5 that would be hard to pick from.
I picked up my Hulk 2 at
Hard to
Heroes.
choose between your children, I know.
Tough.
Oh, I'd trade
Well,
all your.
Rob has chosen. He's made his.
I will tell you that, JB, I could have probably gotten a fresh French fry instead of a cold one if it didn't have your signature on it, though.
That's fair. I truly believe my signature brings down the price of everything.
God, I love you.
I envy Justin being able to get that big monster book, man. It would be. I'm going after X-Men 1. It might take me till 2026, but I envy that. Like whittling down my collection and getting it would be pretty fun.
Keep in mind, like I sold all of my Hot Toys to do it.
I'd sell all my cold toys if I could, but I don't think a lot of people would have.
Yeah, you got a lot of Transformers, Biggie. You got like a lot of G1.
Yeah, maybe when the movie comes out, I'll start pushing them. We'll see. Seems like there's a lot of Transformer nuts these days. Or Transformers.
The current run has helped.
It has, yeah.
Justin, do you really think you can wait till the 31st?
See you guys later.
Later, bro.
Peace, man. We're dropping like flies, man. Jeez.
Yes, I can wait till the 31st because that's when it is scheduled.
Okay.
Yeah. I can just put a hat on.
And a hat fits.
He can work from home.
Yeah. Hey, let me.
I mean, we're almost a ponytail stage here. I feel if you just look it back, you feel like you could confidently have.
That's a cool hat. Look at that.
Is that better? That's better,
It's
right?
like you look like the guy from Squidbillies.
You look like you should have some puppets in your hand now, and you're gonna be in some kids show.
No. My hair and beard are the reason why I can't be on a kid show.
Well, that and the restraining order.
Well, I wasn't going to say that part out loud.
So that's why his wife has to drop the kids off at school.
What's Legion's book you'd grab?
Legion, what book would you grab if you could only grab one?
No, I said probably my 181 because it's a big book, and the story that goes along with me acquiring that can never be replicated.
I thought that might be it. Yeah,
I bought it with change, and I bought it from Paul at my LCS. It's his copy, so it's sentimental, it's valuable, and I literally bought it with change.
How much fucking change did you have? What the fuck are you talking about? Change?
I don't
Rolls of
spend, I don't spend change. I save change. And I roll it myself. So in the other room I have coins that I've rolled and long that fills up. I pour it out and I roll it and put them up and fill it up, and I have multiple ones of those, and I just do that. I collect money numerous different ways. So when things like Heroes Con happen or this happen, I got comic money that doesn't affect like our budget and stuff, and I bought it with change, and it was Paul
you paid
who
for a lot of
owns
stuff
ABXs.
in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's why you end up.
If something costs $10.01, I'm handing them a $20 bill. I'm getting that 99 cent back.
That's mostly because when Legion's
you're
at
investing in your
dancing
comic.
at the club, he demands $20 bills in the G string.
Yeah, but I demand them in Sacagawea dollars.
They're just throwing money at you, like coins at you.
Rolls.
Black-
No, rolls. They're throwing rolls at you.
With gold.
Socks filled. Here you
Like Full Metal Jacket at night. Just like,
Yeah, that's a really sentimental one. And then another one is Tomb of Dracula 10 that I have. That's a really sentimental one because of Paul found it in his closet when he was just cleaning stuff out. Like just a copy of Tomb of Dracula 10 just sitting in his closet.
Every time
Wow.
your kid pisses you off, you put a coin in a jar, and when you're done, if you take that jar and you dump it into a sock, and now you can beat your kid with it. What?
and go to jail.
And then I've got a Turok.
Times have changed, Rob.
My dad got me. My dad's first comic that he ever bought was Turok issue. I'd have to look to see what issue number it is. Back in the 1960s. And for my birthday a couple years ago, he gave it. He went and got it slabbed up and gave it to me as my birthday present. So that one be a tough one too.
That's cool, man. I got a 10-cent Turok. Doc sent. He we'll call the Turok gang.
Yeah, I'm definitely a member of that gang.
Hell yeah.
Like, look, I guess we can do an unboxing, right?
Sure. That's
Okay.
what you do. It's your channel. You do what you want. buddy.
No unboxing for you.
But getting a first appearance of Turok, the Dell Turok, that would be a fun one to pick up. I don't come across it too often in the wild, and I'm not trying just to go online and buy one. But if I find one at a good price, I would definitely.
Is it Turok 1? I forget what number. I forget what book that's from.
Dell? It's Dell 4 color something.
Dell 4 color. Okay, yeah, I did that on like Name That Key once. First Turok, I remember.
But, I'm always picking these up whenever I see them in the wild. I'm always looking in the wild for them. But every now and then I think to pop on the old eBay and see if there's any super cheap lots of them sitting up. And
Oh
snap
wow.
some more of these.
It's necessary. That looks absolutely necessary.
Yeah. But what's
Excessive.
necessary is what's on the other side of the camera.
Oh, I'm just wondering.
It's just some more Turoks.
Oh, I thought you was. Never mind. I ain't gonna say it.
Oh, you should say it. No, I'm curious.
No.
Here's the rarest, most
many
valuable
Turoks do you
Turok.
have?
Spit a little bit of M&M while you're doing
Here's the most valuable Turok comic on the planet. The one of one Jurassic Park acetate signed by Bart Sears and Adrian. I don't want to put the government out there, but one of one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Signed by actual Adrian.
Actual Adrian, yeah.
Oh,
Oops.
The gold foil signed by Bart. This one is out of Bart's. I don't want to say his collection, but this is I got from Bart Sears, so I got him to customize that one to me, personalize it.
it's a great cover.
It is. That one's signed by Bart in red. And then the rest are just countless Turoks.
How many
Everybody-
Turoks do you need?
There's people. Almost every collector's got one book that they just get an obscene number of them for some strange reason.
And which book
Absolutely.
is that for you, Rob?
There's two for me. So although I don't pick up as many of the Spider-Man 2099s as I used to, I do have an awful lot of Spider-Man 2099 number ones. But the other is Shogun Warriors number 1. It used to be for the longest time, every time I went to a con, I would pick up a copy of Shogun Warriors number 1. But for some reason lately, I've seen people pricing it, thinking that it actually is a book with value, and so I'm refusing to pay lately.
Normally
what
about a $10 book, isn't it?
or less. But yeah, now I see it all the time for like $20, and I'm like, no, sorry, not doing it. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
So I would like to by the end of the year have a short box full of Turok. That's like by the end of this
Really?
year, I would like to.
Why?
Because I wanna.
Because he wants to go on Whack Comics and challenge Lee and his box of Berserkers with a box of Turoks. Let
Is
them
this
fight
fair?
and see who wins.
Okay,
Turok or
'cause I
Berserker.
mean,
Like,
I
I
just
meant
don't
to-
understand the philosophy, Bob. Besides, I mean, I understand collecting.
Oh,
like,
there's
get
not a
one,
philosophy to it.
Maybe
No, but
trading it in for a better one or
the
something. but they have
mindset,
multiples of
those books cost $1 or less, $1 or less. So normally I just get them in the wild. Every now and then I'll think to look at eBay, and I think I've done that like 3 times where I bought a lot off of eBay, like a little pack of 10 that someone had up, kind of thing. But I'm not normally looking for too much stuff when I'm going comic hunting. I don't have like I need this now, I need that now. I finished my Transformer 1 run, which I was trying to do. The only other run I'm actively trying to fill in is Tales to Astonish, which that's not something you like that I'm trying to fill in at any kind of specific time. They're expensive, they're hard to find, and they're just not a rush. But I like to go looking. So if you have like a
I gotta
dollar
run.
book or a
I'll be
50-cent
back.
book, all right, Rob. If you have like a cheap book, it's always something you can hunt for. It's just kind of reason to be in the bins kind of thing. Like when you go to these places that have these endless seas of long boxes under tables, and they're like, yeah, anything in there 50 cents or anything in there $1. You know, if I'm going to look through this, I might find nothing at all. Spend a lot of time. But if I like to collect Turok number 1, I'm going to look through this and come out with at least 2 or 3. It wouldn't have been for nothing. And I love Turok.
I know, but once you have this box full of Turok, then what?
I don't know, just A-OK it to you, so it's your problem.
No,
Really, I don't understand like what the philosophy is.
Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man 1, I will buy it every time I see it as long as it's for a certain price. I'm like,
Yeah, there
I'll
you
buy
go. Yeah, it's like Rad said. Everyone has one. Rad will grab Turok, X-Men 1, Spider-Man 1 from Todd or Wildcat, Spawn. Like there's certain things that people just grab every time they see it.
Once you fill that first box, you start working on the second.
Yeah. I just like picturing Steph just standing there in her living room with this box on the floor, just looking at it, wondering what her life's philosophy should be now that she has a box of Turok 1s. So what do I do?
What? I don't understand. Like you need this to fulfill what?
Every comic collector's collection is incomplete without a Turok 1.
Yeah, I've come off of a Turok 1. I've sent Nick a Turok 1, the
gold
gold
one.
one. So now I'm down to just that one and then the graded one. I've got graded ones too, Steph. So don't worry.
Thank God, Mark.
Yeah.
You had me worried. You didn't have any slabs there.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nick, if you could only grab one comic, which one would you grab of your collection?
Okay, so I could give you an easy answer, but I need to know if there are any other specifications, qualifications.
You can only grab one. All your family members are out. You can only go back and grab one comic because you only have your right hand available. So you can only grab one, not 2 comics, just 1 comic.
Oh, in my collection right now?
Yes, out of your collection.
That's a tough choice.
The house is on fire, man. Jesus, don't take so long.
There's not so long to think about it.
This is why I put fire extinguishers around the house.
Mark.
I have to say it would have to be my giant size X-Men number 1.
Ooh. Okay.
But that's just from a financial standpoint. That would be leaving my ASM annual number 1, which is one of my top stories of all time, in the box. So
there you go. Mine's pretty beat up.
At least Nick could answer.
I'm glad you said
I love annual 1.
Yeah, I'm glad you said the right hand because on my left hand I don't have all my fingers, so I'm glad. But that's a tough choice. I would probably regret leaving. Well, I definitely would hate to leave one of them. Yeah,
no doubt.
Oh, it's a no-win scenario. She's not asking very fun questions today. It's all no-win scenarios with Madam. So like
if
your left hand was chopped off.
If your life is ending, if your house is on fire,
Yeah.
What's your purpose of living if you have that many Turocks?
I mean, technically, it's easy just to grab the box both of those are in.
We said that, but she said you can't do that.
I got a question. So, if you were going to murder somebody, what weapon would you use?
All right, I think the stream just got flagged. There it is.
That's easy.
The candlestick in the library, Biggie.
No, I'd still have to ask: do I really hate the person? I mean, I'm killing them. But is it
Maybe it's self-defense. It's self-defense. They're coming after you to kill you. So
then whatever weapon they brought with them.
What weapon are you going to choose to defend yourself?
This is why much like the fire extinguishers, I have something to remedy that around the house as well. So
puts a different kind of fire out.
Different. So.
I prefer that too.
Yeah, I got something in the garage. I got something in the bedroom. I got something around here. I got something around there.
I just pictured Nick reaching for his dildo, fighting off an assailant in his bedroom.
Listen, once I put the vibrator on, that thing is deadly. It's funny.
In the bedroom.
I saw a reel yesterday saying this is why you always pay the window washer, and like outside the glass building, there were like a whole bunch of suction cup dildos, and the guy's trying to knock them off with like an extension cord. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Chris said ninja stars are his weapon of choice.
I think I would be good wielding a hatchet. You know?
Chris, you need to post a reel of practicing your ninja star skills.
I have.
You got that one, Mark?
Yeah, I think it shipped here the other day. Both of them. Is it a wraparound or a connecting? I hope it's a connecting. Oh, it's a wraparound.
It's connecting for sure. It's the one with Bumblebee.
Okay, good. It's connecting. Yeah, I got that.
I'm going through and I'm slowly pressing the books. I'm trying to, I don't know. Again, I've been in the mood to buy comics again.
Nice. Any Turok ones on your hit list?
Always on the hit list.
Steph's like, what is wrong with y'all?
I don't understand the obsession.
But you don't. I don't think it necessarily. Well, it does kind of have to be a Turok one. But for me, like all of the old variant, the Chromium Valiant stuff, I need in my collection also.
Like Bloodsport, Ninjak, Exo, and then you have the two different Exo ones because you have like the off-white, the beige error print one.
The ivory print. Yep. So,
ivory, that's what they call it.
So, madam, I don't know. Like, we have an obsession with one comic book, but every girl I know has 300 chapsticks in her fucking purse. Why do you guys all need to buy so many chapsticks? That's all I'm asking. Isn't one good enough?
I'm not a chapstick like collector.
Follow-up question: how many pair of shoes do you have?
I have more. I am not a shoe collector, Mark. Actually, I have more wigs than shoes.
More wigs than shoes. Everybody's got something.
Yeah. So.
Wonder how many Turok 1 sales have happened today.
I still don't own a Turok 1, so I'm not a good collector.
January 17th. Today, January 17th, the Turok comic lot sold for $14.75 already, and the day has just begun. I'm saying, like, people always buying Turok.
Wow. So now you're up how much?
But these are the ones I look for. Like these, here's a lot of 10 of them that were on bid, and those 10 sold for $5.50. That's how you do it.
Was the buyer Southern Comic Geek?
I feel like you should use them for wrapping paper or something. Turn them into art, you know? Like do what they used to call those things?
Like collage or something where you cut them out.
They used to call it something when they'd shellac it with that glaze.
Decoupage.
That's it. Decoupage. Thank you, Bleeker. Decoupage.
And then you take it one step further and you get an
Yeah,
actual,
that Bart Sears cover is insane.
an
That's
actual
awesome.
cover.
See, now
drawn
that's legit cool.
by the
No,
guy.
what's your philosophy behind owning that?
Oh, I needed one. This is one of my, like, much like getting a piece signed by Stan. Being a big EXO fan, I needed like this cover, one specific cover drawn for me. So,
And what did he charge for that again?
I want to say $550, but in my old, what's the word I'm looking for? Alzheimer riddled brain. I don't know if I paid for this or not.
I don't think Bart knows either. It took him a little while.
Yeah, he had to send it to me, but I am happy to have it.
Couldn't be happier than that. That's a full cover.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, he charges like $750, I think, on his website, do something like that.
A couple people have asked what piece of art would I grab? Should I have to leave the house?
Well, luckily you're the artist, so it's probably a little different than you're like, yeah, I'm leaving all that shit. I'll just draw another one when I get to the hotel.
They should all survive the fire. They're bronze.
Is it possible for you to run out with a piece like that? Or are they super heavy?
I mean, they're heavy. I would have to pick a small one. I'd probably pick I don't know. My pregnancy statue, I think. I'm expecting one.
Did you say your pregnancy statue? Is it a statue of a pregnant person or something you did while you were pregnant? Or both?
I started it. Here, I'll grab it. Hold on.
Justin, do you have a pregnancy statue in your collection?
I have several.
Several. Nick can't have pregnancy statues. He breaks them.
I do. I do.
Burke says, what's on the shopping list this year? Turok 1.
Every year.
So it's a pregnant statue.
It's a pregnancy statue.
When's it due?
That day. Actually.
What font did I use?
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Is that one you sold or just did for yourself?
Huh?
Is that one that you sold or just did for yourself?
I did sell one of these actually. It was in a show and it sold, and then I had another one made, so I would have one.
Throw in a free Coco Pelli with every statue sold.
Oh, stop. I hate those things so much. Oh, nothing gets me angrier than just cowboys, Indians, and Coco Pellis around Arizona.
They're just everywhere.
There's statues of that everywhere. I'm so sick of it.
Nick, what are you working on?
I'm picking out what to press next.
Are you sending this stuff in to be graded or just pressing it for no reason?
Yes and yes.
Nice. Jim said it looks like a perfect piece for the game of Clue.
No, it's not cheap. What did I just submit? I submitted 8 modern books. And I think with shipping and everything, it came out to like $240.
Good God.
$225, something like that.
Why are you shipping modern books again? Are you about to start reselling?
No, this is for the Scotty stuff. Old Scotty for the Scotty wall.
Were any of those JSA or JAS, whatever it's called?
JAS.
The signature authentication?
No. I have a way to circumvent that nowadays.
What do you mean? Everything's a modern book from 1977 on, apparently. At least according to CBC.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I find that to be crazy. But it's probably a better thing if they separated those tiers, we'd probably pay more money for something, I'm sure.
Yeah. See, like a lot of this stuff I have is like 77, but I couldn't justify sending it in just yet.
What are you waiting on when you say just yet?
Because, you know, if you started in another tier, like the Scotties I sent all were a 9.8 pre-screen. And these are not going to be 9.8s. So if you start a whole nother submission, it's going to cost you another $5 and another 25 in shipping. So I was like, all right, let me just hold off just now. But I kind of wish I submitted this one, especially with the trailer dropping.
Let me see who's on it. Do you want to know something about that character?
Sure, go ahead.
If you're going to sell it now, today. You don't even have time to get it graded, I don't think, because of wait times. That character is
I
not.
heard he's not going to stick around.
He's not going to make it.
Well, no, the person wearing the costume.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I wonder if it's going to be a copycat, but that's too much thought into the show. Yeah, he's going to lose his head violently. Biggie said his Bluetooth battery's running out.
No.
Yeah, what'd y'all think of the Daredevil trailer? It looked cool to me.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looks super violent too.
Well, they can cut a trailer to look like that, so I'm hoping.
True.
Yeah, like Moon Knight.
Yeah, exactly.
Rash.
But the way he broke that dude's leg, I was like, yo, all right.
The worst part, we already have, like, the Daredevil was very good. We all liked it. So all they have to do is just repeat that process and we should be all right. But it's Disney, so who knows what they'll do.
I think this is a sign of like things to come, where a lot of the projects that they have. All right, first off, I think Disney is in an era where they're trying to shift away from what they've been doing the past 2 years back to something that more people were enjoying, back to positive publicity with their stuff. And I think we have like 9 projects this year. And out of those 9 projects, it's all the stuff that was already in development. The ball was already rolling. So it's more of the same. So they're potentially having to jump on 9 more grenades before we start seeing anything from like their new mindset of creativity. This next era, you know, you had a good run to Endgame, then you had shit after Endgame, and now they're having to do something different. There'll be like a flag in the sand where it shifts, but we won't see those products for a while. They have to be made. But I think Daredevil is going to be an actual early sign of it because they overhauled it and fired all their showrunners and brought in this new guy who scrapped everything, took a stack of Daredevil trade paperbacks and started reading them before he started working on the show. So I think it might be a good sign of things to come. I'm hoping so. You know, they fired the last guy who said they were going to kill Karen and Foggy off screen.
I don't hate everything Disney's done. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. You know, at least we're getting comic book content.
Oh, you'll never hear me say that. You don't get a participation prize for this shit.
Yeah, I find that's like I keep saying I wish it would have been better. I wish they did this. I wish they did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Skeleton Crew wasn't bad. It kind of reminded me like all those 80s kids movies I grew up with, but I'm like, why is it Star Wars?
Why is this? Yeah, I think that the Star Wars brand is the most damaged out of all of them. People didn't even tune in to watch Skeleton Crew.
I haven't watched it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, dude. I have Star Wars tattoos, for fuck's sake. No,
I watched 4 episodes and just kind of fell off. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed episodes 2 and 3 a lot, but it just didn't like I didn't find myself caring. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good stuff on television, and just
Landman.
That being said, I watched Wicked the other day, and I thought it was pretty terrible as well. So whatever.
That's a bummer. I was looking forward to that.
It's just it's okay.
Really good.
It's okay. It's a musical. And I like musicals. It's just really I don't know. It just wasn't.
That's like a 3-hour investment too, right?
Yeah, watching Aria Grande for 3 hours is.
You just talked me out of it. Yo, the press run that they did, like, kind of soured me to wanting to see it. They're insufferable, weird, borderline disgusting human beings. Like, they're like, how are you alive? I can see your skeleton.
I just walked away, honestly, hoping that someone feeds her a sandwich. I'm like, was there sandwiches on the set at any time of this
No
movie?
craft services, none.
That poor girl is too skinny, man. Holy shit.
Kind of feel that way when I'm looking
sure
at
she's
Lois
setting
Lane.
a great example for little girls everywhere.
Yeah, they're bringing back eating disorders. That's very powerful of them.
You know,
They're holding space with eating disorders. Those interviews they did were the most cringe thing I've ever seen.
oh, I did just watch the trailer of the Daredevil. It looks okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope it's not a too little too late thing. There's a lot of stuff like that Spider-Man origin cartoon coming out this month. I'm skipping that. Marvel Zombies, I'm skipping that. The new Captain America Falcon movie.
You're skipping Marvel Zombies, really?
What is it?
You're skipping Marvel Zombies, really?
Yeah, I ain't got nothing for them.
Okay, fair enough.
The What If show was garbage. I didn't even watch the second or third one. Couldn't care less. Anything animated they're putting out, I'm skipping just as a baseline.
I like the What If stuff. That was all right.
Did you watch the third season they did that everybody hated? Even like
no, I didn't watch the third
people
season
out there.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that was tough to get through. I thought the last episode wasn't bad, but
No, I fully admit, like I'm jaded when it comes to the MCU at this point. Like I don't have any problem admitting that, but that's why I just stopped watching, because I find myself like if I'm watching it, all I'm doing is having trash to say every week about the individual episodes, and that's boring for me to a degree. And then it kind of taints the stuff that I love about the MCU all the way to like Endgame and stuff. The more garbage I see that they put out, the more it just, like when I see a clip of like an MCU thing from the good days, I'm not like, hell yeah, I'm like, oh fuck MCU, and I just move on. I'm like I don't know, it's tainting the good stuff for me at this point, so I'm just like, fuck it, I'm out.
Brad, how was the Mayor of Kingstown? What's that about? Does anybody watch that?
Is that the Jeremy Renner show?
I think so.
Someone recommended that to me. I can't remember who. I'm going through rewatching Dexter right now because that new show, Original Sin, is solid. If you're a Dexter fan,
I watched Dexter. I watched the whole Dexter.
Yeah, if you're a Dexter fan, this new show nails it. Like, you still have Michael C. Hall doing all the internal narration, so like that's like spot on. Because like it's the season setup is a flashback moment kind of thing. Like you get this opening to it, you're like, hell yeah! Especially if you watch the New Blood season. But a lot of the same showrunners are behind it, so it's good. But it has me to when you're watching a show and you're like, I need more of this. So you go back and rewatch, like what I did with Game of Thrones. I watched House of Dragons. I'm like, I need more now.
Right.
So I just rewatched Game of Thrones. Doing that with Dexter. Yeah,
There's gonna be a House of Dragons, right?
Huh?
There's gonna be another House of Dragons, right?
Yeah, there's going to be that one, and there's a prequel series about
prequel spinoff.
Two of the knights that they talk about during Game of Thrones. Hey, did you do the Tyrone Bigham scratch of the neck on purpose? Yeah. Okay.
I needed more of that Game of Thrones, player.
Two of the brothers, huh? So is it the Mountain and the?
No. These are. It's got a name. It's like the 6-issue limited series they're doing that'll come out between now and season 3 of House of Dragon. While House of Dragons is filming, they'll be releasing Game of Thrones content. They've recognized the timeline it takes them to make these, so they're fixing it with more content.
It's about one of the Targaryens and a knight called Sir Duncan the Tall.
Okay, thank you.
Duncan.
Not Dickon.
Donuts.
Rickon.
You guys are making me want to watch Game of Thrones right now.
We just finished it again last week.
Yeah, I'd probably watch it 5 times myself.
It's called Knights of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah.
The trailer's out. The trailer's been out for a while.
When does it come out?
I don't know.
Later this year.
This year. Yeah, it comes out this year.
Well, that's so vague. Come on.
I mean, time is relative. Like that's actually a short sliver right
We're
there.
still in January this year sometime.
Time's a flat circle, you know. JB, are you doing MegaCon, JB?
No, I really have to limit the conventions that I go to during tax season, because my wife is a CPA, so I'm on dad duty a lot.
Oh,
so unfortunately,
Yeah,
no.
YouTube just sent the tax form things. If you're a YouTube person that needs tax forms, check your email that they started coming out this week.
I don't need to.
Bleeker, that's you, buddy.
I don't think I make enough money on YouTube to do taxes.
They sent you it, I promise.
Okay. If you make any money, they want their money.
That's fair.
Well,
That is
it's
fair.
on you to well, I don't know how taxes work in Canada, so but down here, YouTube money is untaxed. So you have to file it and get taxed at tax time. We're like paychecks, you can have it automatically taken out.
Yeah, I have to file it. Again, I don't really
In
make
Canada,
enough
I
money.
just assume you forward your paycheck straight to Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, he's a fucking dick.
That's crazy how like he went from everyone liking him to no one liking him really fast.
I don't understand. It doesn't matter. Fuck that whole shit. It's all bullshit anyway. We voted in a fucking drama teacher to be the fucking leader of our fucking country. It's ridiculous.
Well, he did his job. He made it dramatic, didn't he?
Well, we had
he
Ronald
fucking made it
Reagan.
dramatic. What's that, buddy?
We had Ronald Reagan as our president, and he was
Yeah, that's true. He was an actor.
So, what do you feel about America absorbing Canada? Us becoming one.
I don't want to. Don't make me tell you guys to fuck off again. I don't want to have to do that.
Isn't the counter argument to that is like, don't make us fuck off? Because like, what happens if we do fuck off? What happens to Canada?
Listen, man, I can honestly tell you,
Canadians get mad. Out
of the 50 states that you guys have, I can tell you that 45 of them want to be Canadian right now. So fuck off.
I don't know. It's just America light, isn't it? I don't know the geopolitical comings and goings. Aren't we pretty much fund y'all's country? Not like me personally, but like
it's just a better country, man. Sorry, guys.
I'm not a fan of the cold, so I mean, I'm not going to argue.
That's fair. That's fair.
I go with the heat preference. I'm more of a fan of like the acquiring Greenland thing.
I'm a fan of less guns, no gang violence. You know, all the things.
Too cold for gangs up there.
How would you defend yourself, Canada?
All the things you guys have to worry about all the time. I'm a fan of not having to worry about that. So
I'll be honest with you. Where I live, I don't worry about those things here.
They have molasses traps up there, madam.
Mm-hmm.
Molasses traps?
Yeah, as soon as you step in them, you freeze automatically, and they wait for the Mounties to come.
They come and get you.
Deadly
survival. It says we are an untapped superpower.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
Canadian survivalist.
I think I was like last week years old when I found out. Was it the Dutch owned Greenland? Until it was even a conversation. Like I never even thought about Greenland or who owned it or who didn't own it. It was never even a thought. Didn't realize it wasn't a self-sustaining entity to begin with, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dutch own a lot of things, or they did own a lot of things anyway.
But the cool thing, like just with my completely limited knowledge or understanding of any of this, which admittedly is zero, my only thought is if America does own it, it makes traveling to it simpler, like Puerto Rico and stuff like that. You can just go, just get a plane ticket and go.
Well, we need it strategically, and all the ice is melting up there, and
that's delicious fresh water. Then
and it's strategically a great place to be hanging out for trade routes and stuff.
Yeah, I just like the idea of traveling to places without having to get a bunch of shots. I hate needles. Shipping lanes, Jim says.
I thought Greenland should be named Iceland and Iceland should be named Greenland.
Yeah, that's how you remember.
It should have been, right?
The
tricked some.
What is it? The myth goes it was named opposite on purpose to discourage the Vikings. Like the Vikings were looking at your maps or something. Hold on, let's make a map and name this. Mail it to the Vikings. We're going to trick them. Oh, those guys said this one's called Iceland. I don't want to go there.
But I am through season 1 of Superman and Lois.
Wow.
I kind of wish that they were 3 episodes shorter.
You don't want to finish watching it, no.
It all balances out, I guess, at the end because it was only 8 episodes in the last season.
I don't know.
And I realized that I got that guy confused. Is it Tyler
one?
Hoechlin?
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah, there's another guy who was on 30 Rock. You ever watch 30 Rock?
I've seen a couple of episodes.
Oh, let's see if I can show you what I was talking about.
Are any of y'all TikTokers?
Not for long.
I use TikTok. I don't really. I use it like to do videos and stuff, and then put them on my YouTube.
So that's a yes from Bleeker.
Not really though. I'm not like TikTok's not my thing. It's just I use it to edit videos and then move those videos over to another platform usually.
There's been an ongoing.
So you utilize TikTok though. For sure.
I utilize it. Yeah, I don't. It's not like it's
You're
not
aware
great.
of the ongoing thing with the Supreme Court holding up the ban for TikTok, and it looks like it's shutting down in the U.S. Sunday unless they sell it. You have Mr. Beast pushing hard to try to buy it. He announced like, "I'll buy TikTok so people can keep it," and he even posted like forms all lawyered up and filled out, prepared to make an offer, trying to get them to reach out to him.
Why would they want to sell TikTok? They're not going to want to sell TikTok.
Because
they're not allowed to operate.
Cleaning information off of everybody.
They don't because they don't have the U.S. of A. using their platform.
TikTok's not allowed to
the rest of the
operate
fucking world using their platform. It's not
under
their
the
fault.
parameters they're operating in this country, which I don't disagree with. If you go to China, see how well opening YouTube works, for example, or Facebook or any American-owned social media company.
Yeah, they have a huge. They don't need America to be successful.
Well, it's not about selling. I don't think the entire company about selling the American arm of it. I don't know the business deals, how they're trying to write it out or work it out or whatever, but they're not allowed to collect the data and sell the data of Americans, including like politicians and people. They showed where they're able to gain access. They've proven that the Chinese spies were able to gain access to sensitive information through like TikTok backdoors and stuff. It's all above my pay grade, but it's all laid out in hours and hours worth of deposition that's public. If you want to go check it out and see what their concerns are.
I've watched some of the deposition. I've watched some of the questions being answered and asked and questions.
I'm a big fan of like, I don't like how these companies shuffle and move data. Like I can show you on my phone, like right now, like this is a prime example of it being 100% the case, what they're saying about these companies that do this, not limited to TikTok. Yesterday at 7:30 a.m., this is a text message, not social media. To reset your Instagram password, click the link. Then October 10th got one for Facebook. May 14th got one for Facebook. That's where someone is trying to hack into my social media and they're trying to hit my two-step verification and can't. That only happens because these companies sell your data, trade your data, get rid of your data. There's not just some random kid who looks at my small account and he in person is actively trying to do it. That's data farms that are passing your stuff around. And that's the kind of stuff that they're trying to partly that's included in what they're trying to fix, correct, get around.
Yeah, but again, like you've already hit it on the head. TikTok's not the only one that does that.
No, not at all.
They all do it. Like it's.
Don't
Are
worry,
we gonna? Are we
my
gonna ban?
disdain for big tech doesn't start and end with TikTok. I promise.
They're gonna start banning Facebook and Instagram and all the rest of them.
Well, I think Facebook might be good. I think Zuck got ahead of the curve, didn't he?
Yeah, he's probably grandfathered in.
Well, not just that. He's he was one of the whistleblowers, first-hand whistleblower. Like, you know, Elon bought like him, dislike him. That's not the conversation. He bought Twitter and opened the Twitter files and showed firsthand all the conspiracy theories people were having against that social media platform were 1000% true, and even worse than they thought. He showed the proof. It's not his opinion. Here it is. Look at what they were doing. And then Zuck, over the last couple months, he came out firsthand and he said, yes, the government came to me with demands and requests, and this is why we acted on these, and this is why we did this, censoring and da da da. Like it's crazy how much big tech has been compromised by government agencies. So to think about our own government doing that to its own people with American companies, just think of how shisty and crazy foreign governments can be. That's my concern. Our own government's bad enough. I don't want to have to worry about other governments. I've never downloaded TikTok, nor will I.
It sounds more like your government's very worried about not being in control of something.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah,
that's what it sounds like. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
1000%. I agree full-heartedly. And then once they get in control, we need watchdogs over them. Because I can't tell you a single time in history, Bleak. I can't point to a single time since 1776 and said, "Hey, let's go back and study this year where our government was fucking awesome and loved and took care of the people." That doesn't exist.
No, I know. Even in the golden age of JFK, he was screwing you guys over, sending people over to Vietnam without anybody knowing. Yada yada yada.
He wasn't a fan of Vietnam, though. He was trying to shut it down.
He's trying. He tried.
Yeah,
but
nothing's ever perfectly clean, but he damn sure was pushing against it. It cost him his head.
Yeah, that's fair. That's like Cuba. Cuba didn't help.
Oh, I agree, Canadian. I don't think Zuck is a good guy. I think he's trying to get ahead of the problems, kind of like Gavin Newsom in California. I think he's an idiot as well.
Oh my God!
But I saw where he went public before the fires, talking about how they're going to start banning food dyes and this and that to clean the food up. Rewind 6 months ago, he was talking about how crazy the person who was pushing for all that is, and how he's insane this and insane that. But as soon as the crazy person won the battle, all of a sudden Gavin Newsom's all on board with all that shit you just said. Of course you are.
Yeah, Gavin's got some he's got some troubles, man.
They all do.
His career's over, I'm pretty sure. But hey,
probably not. I doubt it. I bet he wins. Whatever he does next, I bet he wins in a landslide. That's just
oh my God. Could you imagine? Can't even imagine, bro. That'd be crazy.
I picture it happening. You can't fix stupid.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Not everybody sees it the same way as I do. I saw him talking about how he was speaking with a guy from Maui, and they're going to work on trying to get ahead of these people coming in for the land grab stuff, which I thought is good. Hope it doesn't happen. Yeah, it's a big concern for a lot of people over there. From a lot of stuff I've seen, is the potential land grab opportunities for people to come in and just offer these people who lost everything fraction of what they had and acquire it.
They're so desperate.
That's the yeah. Have you seen the footage of these kids up there in the Palisades running away from the fire when it just started?
No. I've seen clips of people like that they were suspecting potentially starting the fire, but I didn't see like kids running away. It was just kind of like an aerial shot.
Yeah, so they show an aerial shot of a guy that's basically he's like in a gray hat and like a dark windbreaker, and then there's another scene where these kids are filming themselves. They're not kids; they're just younger than me, probably. So they're probably, I don't know, 20-ish, 25 maybe, and
Yeah.
they're running away, going, "Oh my God, we were just right there, man!" And so it's obviously them that started that fire. It's
I think
ridiculous.
reports show that like more than 95% of California fires are man-made. It isn't like these are just naturally occurring
Yeah.
fires. The conditions there are just
No, some
prone.
kids were up by whatever Skull Rock or whatever it's called, and they were trying to go viral, and guess what? It
They went
succeeded.
super viral, my
They
dude.
went super viral.
It was news everywhere. Super unfortunate though.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with all that stuff, man. It's so tragic. And I'm
Yeah.
not worried. Yeah, I get it. All the rich people lost their houses. It still sucks for them. So,
So
you
did
know,
all those trailer park people and all
Yeah,
those
but those
Yeah.
rich people are
people
still
and all
people,
those-
and you got to think like their money aside, like think of like their memories. You know, they still have kids, and those kids still grew up, and those are still their neighborhoods they ran around in, or you know that's
I'm never one to care about if somebody makes more money than I do. They
yeah.
probably
Neither do I.
they earned it, and they
They're
deserve
still
it.
people. They're
It's just
still
sad that
people.
everybody that they lost everything they own, man. Like that's just
Mhm.
fucking tragic. That's a tragedy. How many people are displaced right now? Like it's brutal.
I saw this video last night where like a whole platoon of cyber trucks were riding into the like, I don't think it happened yesterday. It was just a video that I saw yesterday where Elon sent a platoon of cyber trucks and a message apologizing to the people who ordered cyber trucks that week that they're going to be late because he's sending them to the affected fire areas to establish Starlink so that they can have communication there. But your brand new cyber truck will be to you by the end of the week. So he went and sent out cyber trucks and posted them strategically all in the affected areas to establish an unbroken communication link for Starlink. First responders I saw videos already of them talking about and thanking Elon for the community because all the cell towers were melted and phone lines were down, and just like with North Carolina, Starlink was sent in, and that was their form of communication. And having just gone through Hurricane Helene, they knew what to do quicker this time with Starlink. And I saw people like criticizing him. Why hasn't he donated money to who? Give who needs cash in their hand right this second? Like, what do people need right now? Like they need food pantries set up. They need to be able to communicate. I mean, everyone's doing stuff.
Yeah, people are always too worried about getting money for free. Why isn't this guy giving us money? Because he's got money.
Plus, Joe Biden said y'all get $770. That's $20 more than he gave the hurricane people here.
Joe Biden.
If you get approved, they didn't approve anybody here. It was very hard to get approved. They're like, for immediate needs, we'll give you $750. Fill out this form online with the internet you don't have, and we'll deny you.
It's good stuff.
It was crazy, bro. And it's still not
fucking ridiculous, man. All I can do is laugh. All I can do is laugh.
Yeah. Yo, I was last week years old when they finally picked up the giant pile of debris out of my front yard. That was the first time a cleanup truck came on my road to pick up the debris. And so being that it was the first pass, at least half of the houses where they picked up the debris, they just moved more debris to the spot that it was in because there was so much that you couldn't even get all of it to the road to be picked up at one time. There'd still be countless amount in the backyard and stuff.
That's insane, bro.
Well, since this is a pop culture stream, can I show you something I used to play? A board game I used to play when I was little.
Please do.
Okay. This is called What's It? Does
Yeah,
anyone know this game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to have it and I didn't have it anymore, so I ordered one, right?
We had it when I was little, but I was too young to understand how to play that one.
Ooh, it's fun. So I'm gonna hold up a card, basically, and you try to figure out the slogan or whatever the wording is that they're trying to get you to say behind the card. Okay, you want to do one?
Let's do it. What are these called, like anagrams or something, JB? What is this? Tis tit chim. Hmm.
Come on, Justin.
All I can see is tit. That's literally all I
Yeah,
can.
it's really standing out.
I should
It's
have
really
known.
standing out. It really
I
is.
should have known just to have like that in there. Like, this is just distracting to you guys.
When am I supposed to sound this out? Like,
Are you supposed to figure out the slogan or the whatever it's trying to get you to say?
So let's use this first one as an example. Let us see what that one's trying to say, then hit us with the next one.
Fine.
Yeah.
This one is a stitch in time.
A stitch in time.
I see, but
Is tit chime.
You guys see it now?
yeah, there's a stitch and then time. I get you. I got you.
E-I and the M-E.
Oh, yeah, now I see
stitch.
stitch in there.
Stitch in
Okay.
between time. Okay, I got you.
Now you understand. All right. Let's try another one. Okay.
Pay up. Pay raise.
Pay raise.
I went straight gangster. Pay up.
Mhm.
Give me my money.
Smoke you. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, that's somebody's hair, and I'm not doing that.
I'm not saying that.
Guys, come on, stop being so racist.
I thought the same thing you did. Esteban will say it.
I suppose. You'll put it up on the show.
I didn't say it. I didn't click that. Prove I
That's
clicked
not
that.
where we're going. That's not the direction this one's going.
Now I'm stuck on it though. Once you see the wrong thing, you can't get off the wrong thing. Oh yeah. I don't know. I ain't got that one. JB, you in on this
I
at
feel
all?
like Rob needs to be here. I feel like Rob
Oh,
maybe
ball.
this.
We say Rob's smarter than us.
I'm just saying, Rob.
Is that what you're saying? I feel like that's what you're saying.
I
This
feel
must be an
like
old
Rob would be
reference.
good at this for code breaking kind of stuff.
I give
Okay.
up on that one.
All right, this one is called Unhappy Without You.
Oh, okay.
Unhappy without you.
Yes.
There we go. So we're getting a better idea of how far these reach too, though. There's a little dot above the word evening.
Yeah, like
No, that dot is part of the eye.
Oh, okay.
Says the letterer. Very observant of you, Justin.
So why would I'll be seeing you this evening?
No, but good try.
So Justin's researching over there.
No, I
Google it.
Bleak, you got anything on this one?
Jesus, man, I don't know. Like,
Oh, that's a
evening
good guess. Like the eye is ascending. Yeah, good call on the Jesus thing.
evening under, evening over, evening. I don't know.
There you go. Bleeker's got the right idea how to like start spitting ideas or whatever.
What is the little dot above the eye called, JB?
It's called the little dot above the
The
eye.
little dot above the eye. Yeah, that's the
It's called a
technical term.
lowercase I.
No, Esteban, good try.
You mean Jesus Christ? An evening under the dot.
Evening under the dot.
Okay, we'll try another one. This one's kind of hard. This one is high point of the evening.
God damn, it seems so obvious when you say it, though.
I know, huh?
High point of the evening?
Okay, this will be the last one here.
What is Sino? ones backwards. Flat out of ones.
Give me a flat C note.
Yeah.
That'll be a flat C note, bud.
Now
No
I
problem.
get why this game is just an old game and it's not one a lot of people know. This you cannot do this with friends as a drinking game. Everyone lost. Good game.
I don't even think people say high point of the evening anymore.
Rob would, as he twisted his
See,
mustache.
Rob would be great in this game.
What we need is a 70-year-old in here. He'll figure all this shit out.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I wrote that.
Guess for this one?
I ain't got nothing.
You were getting kind of close, I thought. Mark was getting kind of close.
I ain't got shit.
Flat on one's back.
Flat on one's back.
Okay, I get it now.
Now you get it? Okay.
Well, now I get it because one's backwards. Least with the E crossed out.
Which makes last.
Last.
The last. Yeah, last shall be least, or least shall be last.
That's right. See, last but not least.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I got one.
Okay. I can't wait.
Smoke bomb. It said smoke bomb.
That's awesome.
That was amazing.
Yeah, so those are fun.
Yeah, those are tough.
See, I remember them being pretty difficult as when I had them as a a game long ago.
And
But I
an easier
wondered-
game, like you take a block from the middle, you put it on top. Anything easier over there?
Yeah, Jenga.
Yeah, I got Jenga. I like to play cribbage. I'm a big cribbage player and chess player.
Isn't that game from Harry Potter?
No.
Quidditch? Is that what you said?
Cribbage.
Cribbage, like the 5 one, like 1, 5, 15, that one?
Yeah.
All right. It's been a minute since I played that fucking thing.
Yeah. I like playing cribbage.
I like Yahtzee. That was a fun one. I just like jingling the dice in the cups. Made me feel like a high roller.
Yeah, Yahtzee's fun when you're at the bar, getting 5 at a kind. I mean, you can get a lot of people gambling on Yahtzee.
What's up, TJ? Haven't seen you in a while, bud.
Journey, how the fuck are you, buddy?
Oh.
Journey, are you and your crew coming on church on Sunday? Are you doing the hostile takeover? That'd be nice.
Sounds violent.
Yeah, they got the Shift project coming out. I believe it starts on the 21st on Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I think it's the 21st, but yeah, I invited Journey and his goons to come on and talk about it. I'm not sure if they want to come on this Sunday or next Sunday.
You tell them when they can come on at your show. That's how that works.
Ah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's their job to support their own shit and be there on time. I'm about to go pick my mom up. She had her other eye transplant, whatever, not the whole eye, cornea transplant Tuesday. So her car's still here. I'm about to go pick her up and take her. I bought her a microwave for Christmas, and the glass was cracked on the front of it. So I'm about to go pick her up, get her out of the house with her Ray Charles glasses, and let her get some air, put some more water in her dish, and get her microwave swapped out.
That's nice. That's nice of you.
You're a good son, Mar.
Oh, don't say that out loud. I'm trying to keep expectations at a minimum.
Okay, I understand.
Take her for a walk, put some water in the dish. That's nice of you. That's good.
It is. Yep. You got to let him exercise a little bit.
Hey, they even do it when you're in jail, you know? So
yeah. She was nice enough to put money on my book so I can take her for a walk. But y'all have a good one. I'm about to end it and get rolling. About to be 11 o'clock. Hope y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all hopping on. And see y'all tonight for In the Mix. I can't remember if it's tonight. It's at a different time. But Fable, One Collection Down, is doing the Comics Curing Cancer stream. There was some stuff that came up this past October where they weren't able to do the show, but they weren't giving up on it. So they just moved it to when they could, which will be, I think, this Friday. So at 9:00, there'll be a Comics Curing Cancer stream with some really cool prize packs. And y'all know it's a good cause. 100%.
I'd actually like to be a part of that this year, Mark, if you don't mind.
What is it?
I'd like to be part of Comics Curing Cancer this year.
We like everyone to be part of Comics Curing Cancer.
Yeah.
Great cause. Yeah, I'll talk to you for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure y'all check out One Collection Down right there on IG and YouTube. I can't remember the exact details at the time of the stream, but yeah, they're putting in the work, helping fight the good cause. So until next time, y'all have a good day.
Peace.